Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are San Diego.
Last weekend, we were in Atlanta. Now the Braves come to Petco, where Jed Jerko is 7 for the last 14, has homered in each of the last 2 games. Welcome back, Jerko, from the DL. And can the Padres stop Justin Upton? He's their power source, 19 homers in 63. Runs batted in to lead the Braves, who are only a game and a half out of first place behind Washington in the National League East. And we welcome you to beautiful Petco Park. It's equipment night for us on Fox Sports San Diego, and we'll see who uses that ball and bat best tonight as the Braves meet the Padres in the first of a 3-game series. And welcome aboard with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. We're pleased you're with us. How about somebody turned on that power switch? The turbines are working.
Exactly, Dick. And you know what? Like your job or like a class in school, the old adage is it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Well, there's still a handful of games, more than a handful of games left for the San Diego Padres. But since the All-Star break, the National League rankings, this is not a misprint. This is not a bad graphic. 4.7 runs per game first. Second, with runners in scoring position, just a skosh under 300.
That's one I like.
Absolutely. And then fifth, both in average and home runs. Now, it's been a peaks and valleys year for the San Diego Padres. More valleys than peaks. But like I tell you what, the one thing that I noticed is they're hitting mistakes, they're working hitters' counts, and it's paying off, putting pressure on the other guy out there from the opposition on the mound. Hopefully that continues tonight against the Atlanta Braves.
And they're hoping, at least Eric Stoltz, that they score him some runs. Very stingy when he is on the mound. Well, tonight is equipment night for us. We're going to go through the evolution, the needs, and the possible uses. You know, this bat, we can really put this to good use. Would you mind running at me like a knuckleball? I'd like to see if I can hit it. We'll be right back as we examine the history of baseball equipment tonight. Bats, balls, gloves, masks, rosin bags. We'll be right back.
Padres, and well, the Padre bats have certainly woken up since the All-Star break, but the one guy whose bat's been hot all season, Seth Smith, especially in the month of July, batting .358. So here's Seth on why he likes his bat.
I'm Seth Smith, and this is my bat. I use a 34-inch, 31-ounce bat, and I always swing ash. 85–90% of my bats have been with the same bat. It's really about weight distribution and handle. Really, it's just how it feels when you pick it up. There's nothing in this game that compares to hitting the ball exactly the way you want to. It's all a confidence thing, the way the bat feels in your hands and the confidence it gives you when you step up to the plate. I'm Seth Smith, and this is my bat.
Well, hopefully the Padres can keep those bats alive tonight. Game 1 against the Braves as we continue our special equipment show. We got first pitch in the hands of Eric Stoltz coming up on Fox Sports San Diego.
Love, next on Fox Sports San Diego. And we're going to have some fun tonight with the equipment and the evolution in this great game of baseball. It has changed indeed, and yet many of the pieces of equipment, including bat and ball, pretty much the same going back 100 years. Welcome to Petco Park. We're set for the first of a 3-game series. The Atlanta Braves and San Diego Padres. The Braves took 3 out of 4 in Georgia a week ago. 75 beautiful degrees tonight in San Diego as the Padres take the field. San Diego fresh from a series win against the St. Louis Cardinals, 2 out of 3. And here's the Braves lineup tonight for Freddie Gonzalez. B.J. Upton starts in center. Tommy La Stella, the good-looking rookie second baseman, hits second. Then Freddie Freeman. Justin Upton bats cleanup. Chris Johnson had a terrific July, the third baseman. Gerald Laird gets a start behind the plate for Evan Gattis. Andrelton Simmons, the slick fielding shortstop, will bat seventh, and the newly acquired from the Cubs, Emilio Bonifacio, traded yesterday, will be in right field hitting eighth in front of pitcher Mike Minor.
And the scouting report for left-hander Eric Stoltz is brought to you by Jaguar of San Diego. Quick, clean innings for the left-hander and no big innings. It's hard to believe the last outing against the Braves, he had that big inning where he gave up 6 runs, and he faced the minimum in every other inning that he pitched against the Braves. It was just one bad inning, Dick.
And he needs to shackle this Braves attack and hope he gets some runs. He hasn't been fortified or supported well. 31 runs is all the Padres have scored in 21 starts. Here's the Padre defense. It's brought to you by the Aramco Group. Solarte starts his first ever Major League game in left field. The newly acquired Abraham Almonte in center field. Jeff Francoeur in right field. So there's a new look outfield from even just 2 weeks ago. And you saw Nelson, Cabrera, Jerko, and Medica on the infield. Rivera behind the plate for Eric Stoltz. So welcome to the Padres, Abraham Almonte. Center field, and we are underway. And first ball swinging is B.J. Upton. He couldn't wait to get bat on ball, and one quick out.
Oh, every pitcher loves a quick out, especially the first pitch offering a weak ground ball. Nice start for Eric Stoltz.
Brings up the second baseman Tommy La Stella. Plate umpire tonight is Chris Siegel, with Reynolds, Knight, and Culbreth working the bases. La Stella, solid .294 start, this rookie second baseman. Last 24 games hitting .326. He was impressive in the series in Atlanta. Good eye. He walks a lot. And already has the count in his favor, 2-0. Replaced Dan Uggla when Uggla was cut from the Atlanta squad. Now with the San Francisco Giants, and 3-0 from Eric Stoltz, whose control has been a rewarding part of his game. Walking only 2 or less in 25 of 29 starts as a Padre. There's Freddie Gonzalez, the skipper of the Braves, formerly with Miami. Bench coach with Hall of Famer Bobby Cox. 3-2.
Well, how about Stoltz working quickly? The tempo is really going really well. Snappy, quickly.
Ground ball, fair ball, pulled right to Medica. He goes to the bag himself for the second out. A couple of ground ball outs to start the game from Eric Stoltz. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your Honda dealers of San Diego County.
Well, on this equipment night, Dick, to serve with glove. I'm going a little Sidney Poitier. You like that?
I like it a lot.
Yeah, and holy home run, Batman.
Oh, my.
The dynamic duo, hopefully they're in full force tonight. We see some long balls off of the bats of the San Diego Padres. So some good defense and some offense.
And Bell Allen would say, well, how about that? Or maybe Red Barber with a, oh, doctor.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman at .282, 15 home runs, and 1-1 to Freeman. Leads the team in runs, doubles, and most walks. Bud Black's point of view from the near side of the Padre dugout, first base. Looked pretty good. Fastball at 88. He went 2-2. Inside, and a full count to Freeman.
Well, one thing I've already noticed about Eric Stoltz is that he's already broke out the changeup. He needs to do that. He just can't rely on locating the fastball. He's got to change the eye level
Ground ball up the middle, but shaded by second is Cabrera, and he throws out Freeman. 3 ground ball outs of 1-2-3 first inning for Eric Stoltz. Angry Orchard Hard Cider. Branch out. By Petco, the power of together. And by your San Diego Lexus dealer. They're ready to pound the glove. Grab that bat and go to work here in the bottom of the first inning. As we check the Padres lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Everett Cabrera leads it off. Jan Solarte will hit second. Jed Jerko, home runs in each of the last 2 games, is in the third slot. Tommy Medica will back cleanup with Rene Rivera. He homered off Mike Minor down in Atlanta. Chris Nelson starts at third base, will hit sixth. Then former Brave Jeff Francoeur in the 7th slot. And the newest of the Padres, Abraham Almonte in center field, and Eric Stoltz hits 9th. Cabrera, one of 3 switch hitters in the lineup for the Padres. Cabrera, Solarte, and Almonte.
You know, I wouldn't mind seeing a push bunt right here. Get aboard quickly, you know. Look at the left-hander on the mound.
Well, Freeman playing as if he's expecting one. He's on the edge of the grass at first base.
Just a little drag bunt, maybe.
First pitch from the 26-year-old Mike Minor is in for a strike.
Well, it looks like Everett using a maple bat tonight.
Made for a syrupy swing. 0-2 now to Cabrera, checking in at 216. Solarte, of course, will hit right-handed as well. As will Almonte, hitting 8th. The 3 switch hitters. Bounces 1-2. Minor, 4 wins and 6 losses. He won the game pitted against Eric Stoltz in Atlanta. It was an 8-3 final. Gave up home runs to Rivera and Solarte.
Well, a lot of base runners when Mike Minor is out on the mound. We talked about that last time in Atlanta. Fastball, slider, curveball change. Fastball can reach about 92, 93.
Ground ball up the middle, ranging is Simmons, and even with that Gold Glove, he can't get to it. Cabrera gets the Padres started with a single of the center fielder. Let's take a look at the Braves defense. It's brought to you by Honda. The Uptons in the outfield, Justin in left and BJ in center, with the newest Brave, Bonifacio in right. Johnson and Simmons on the left side, La Stella and Freeman at second and first, with Gerard Laird behind the plate for Minor. There's Emilio Bonifacio. We saw him when the Padres on the last road trip were in Chicago. His 7th major league team, Bonifacio.
You know, that could be an integral part of the Atlanta Braves, because with Jason Hayward You don't know what the situation is going to be with his back, so Bonifacio can play a lot of positions, particularly right field when he is not available.
And the Cubs used him at second base when we were there as well, so he's versatile. Solarte been solid with the bat. That one's a foul ball. 12 for 37, Solarte.
There's Jason Hayward.
Didn't play in the Dodger series. Missed all 3 games as the Braves lost all 3 up in L.A.
Tell you what, ever since that kid's come up to the big leagues, I love that kid. Love the way he swings the bat. Loves the way he plays. It's fun to watch.
Back problems tricky.
Ooh, yeah.
1-1 to Solarte. Oh, a little skip and rope as he squared. 2-1.
You know, it's not so much getting hurt by getting hit by the pitch. It's getting hurt on the way down. Watch like his wrist as he comes down and braces himself. His left wrist. You see a lot of guys will hurt their wrist or elbow on the way down.
And shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that in football when running back is toppled and he tries to use that hand, and oftentimes the upper shoulder injury. 2-1.
Back. Remember last time Minor was out there, he threw a lot of cutters. He was cutter happy. Sometimes he falls in love with that pitch. He's got a firm fastball. Let's see if we see more 4-seamers tonight from the left-hander.
Both pitchers give up a lot of home runs. High fly ball to center field, hit well, but B.J. Upton is there. Solarte a line out. That'll bring up Jed Jerko. Jerko, in the final game of the 3-game series, used his power to go opposite field. Into the jack track in right field. His 7th home run of the season.
Well, as Mark Sweeney said the last couple of days, the Jerk store is open. And I hear on Fridays they're open even later. So hopefully a lot of traffic through that store and a lot of balls being lost from the Jerk store. Since we are talking about equipment tonight.
High fly ball right center. That's playable. Bonifacio calls for it as his first put out as a Brave. And Cabrera back to first. 2 away. And cleanup hitter Tommy Medica steps up.
I like how Evan Cabrera on that last fly ball to right field tagged. It was very aggressive. He got about halfway, forcing the throw. He's hoping for a bad throw from Bonifacio.
Everett has been stuck on 13 steals for quite a while, of course, in part because he was on the DL with that hamstring. This might be a spot where he tries to steal. Shift is on for Medica. Look at the hitting room on the right side of the infield. Talk about daring.
Yeah, Tommy's swinging a maple bat, and hopefully that maple bat can rifle something that way or get something soft on the middle half and send it to the left center field gap. Huge hole in left center field.
He did single through that right side in the game at Atlanta. I mean, you don't even have to hit it hard. Just get it by the pitcher on the ground halfway between first and second. You can trickle a single into shallow right. But when you're hitting cleanup, that's not why you're in the lineup, to try to get a single with 1 out and 1 on.
Right. Exactly.
So they play into that strategy as well. But this is about as drastic as we've ever seen for a right-handed hitter.
And on this kind of hot and sticky night, as you take a look at the 3 infielders there on the left side, Tommy Medica going with the shirt underneath the jersey. He's not going Disco Dan tonight. He's going, you know, he's got the dry fit underneath. Where was it last road trip? Atlanta, where he was going shirtless underneath there?
Yeah.
Showing a little moss.
Yeah, we're talking about all phases of equipment.
Yeah. The Under Armour stuff, the dry fit shirts, very, very popular. Boy, I wish I had them back in the day.
Necklaces for some.
That ball is driven deep. The left field is going and gone. Medica will touch them all. That's the way to beat the shift. 2-0 Padres.
Hey, with the shift on, there's that pitch I was talking about as the Maple Shillelagh comes through the hitting zone. He squares it up. Tommy Medica looks out there at the 3 infield and says, you know what? Shift happens. I'm going to just take it out of the ball yard. How about that? How do you like them apples?
Number 5 for Medica, and a 2-0 lead. Rivera fouls it away. He homered off Minor in Atlanta. Rivera.
Well, what a good feeling that is. The first at bat, driving in 2, hitting a home run, batting 4th tonight. Tommy Medica cleaning up the bases in the number 4 spot. Yeah, that's his girl right there, that bat. You got to take care of your bats, right?
You bet.
Look at that.
A lot of players through the years that sleep with their bats, you know, on the road. Yeah, they didn't want anyone to even touch them.
Was it Richie Ashburn that said he slept with a lot of old bats in his day? That's what he said.
Yeah, I guess. Hubba hubba. Rivera 2-1 the count. Change up.
Well, what does Rene Rivera swing? He's got a birch bat, 33.5, 31 ounce. Now, to put that in perspective, folks, I think Babe Ruth swung a 40-ounce bat.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tree trunk.
Railroad tie.
Yeah.
Line drive and caught by second baseman LaStella. Wasn't hit hard. Soft liner ends the inning, but Cabrera leadoff single and Tommy Medica a rope to left. 2-0 San Diego.
It's my secret. I put it in the oven for about 10 minutes. It gets really soft, and then I can shape it the way I really want it. And then just kind of get a bat and play with it a little bit for like 2 minutes. And then give it a rest for about an hour, let it cool off, and then do it again, do the whole process again. So I put it in the oven again, and I do that about 2 or 3 times, and then it's pretty much ready to roll.
Alonso on Geico quote of the game talking about how he's breaking in his glove and he's got to work on a new one because the one he has now, it's hanging on for dear life. It's peeling in the middle. Mark, how far would you get for a glove before you decided it was time to retire it?
You know what, Chris? A long time. And like I said earlier in our pregame show, you know, guys, they take care of their glove. They want it to last, you know, for their whole. I don't remember Mike Morgan had his glove. He had a glove for his whole career. It's tough giving up a glove that you've used for a long time.
I've seen gloves where the pocket is almost worn out,
yeah.
So your skin is almost showing through, but that fits so beautifully to the hand.
And guys will get it patched every which way imaginable so they can keep that glove.
2-2. Justin Upton, high fly ball to right. That ball is hit well to the warning track, and the catch by Francoeur. One step from the wall. Boy, up and just missed that one. And now the top tier player profile brought to you by Arco tonight. As we take a look at third baseman Chris Johnson, the July National League leader in RBIs with 22, just 2 behind Jason Worth of Washington. Adrian Gonzalez on the list. Dodgers continue the same. It's deja vu as they did last year, middle of the year, just starting to run away. Just swept the Braves 3. They've won 8 of 10 and now have opened up a 3.5 game lead over San Francisco at the start tonight. Stoltz is really working at a fast pace.
I was just going to mention that again, Dick. You're absolutely right. Taking a little bit of time there after that high elevated fastball. But that's one of the things Darren Ballsy, the pitching coach on the left, told us about maybe 5-6 starts ago.
2 hopper to the third baseman Nelson. The throw across in plenty of time. 5 up, 5 down.
You get that rhythm, you get in that groove, you find that release point, that arm slot, and when Eric Stoltz has all that working, he can be very, very effective. Let's face it, he's going to give up a lot of hits, right? I mean, the numbers prove that. A lot of balls in play, but the key is, if the ball is in play, avoid the sweet spot off the end of the bat or jam him, and that's when you get the weak ground ball you just got to Nelson.
Last 7 starts, batting average against is much, much better, 238. He just can't seem to find a way to win because his teammates don't support him. 31 runs in 21 starts. Hard to win.
Yeah.
You got to almost pitch a shutout to get a victory. Fly ball to left, a long run for Solarte, and he makes it there for the catch. Boy, those are 2 quick innings for Eric Stoltz. 6 in a row retired.
Our special equipment show, and with the Padres on deck, you watch the guys get ready to go bat, and they use pine tar, most of them, to put on the handle of the bat to get a better grip. And there's 2 ways about going about this. You could use the liquid pine tar, which they put in a napkin and then rub it over, but a lot of the guys will use this. It's a Moda stick, and it's almost like a waxy feel that they rub up and down on the handle of it. One thing, though, when it's a hot game, they have to make sure they take it off the on-deck circle because it's almost, they say, like a candle, and it'll melt.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Very nice report on that. That Moda stick is this stuff like right here. No, that's a half a donut, isn't it? Well, I ate the other half. It's probably in here somewhere, the Moda stick.
Line drive, base hit. Chris Nelson finds the alley. Quick fielding by Justin Upton, and Nelson has to skid to a stop. Return to first base. Leadoff man on. Nelson with a base hit. He started tonight at 265 as a Padre. Brings up Jeff Francoeur, the former Brave.
Well, Chris Nelson has a nice grip on that bat. Uses batting gloves down by the knob of that bat. Knob going towards the baseball, the head following through. He's got the two-tone bat, the black handle, the natural top part of the bat.
Francoeur, not a hard hit, but he finds the grass and left. And the Padres have back-to-back singles opening this second inning.
You know, Dick, when a team is swinging the bat well, you're going to get hits like that. I mean, let's face it, this ball was down by the knuckles of Jeff Francoeur. He tries to get his hands through quickly. It sounded like he hit it with a sporting news, right?
Yeah.
But it was just over the head of Chris Johnson. You know, when things aren't going well, that's a little looper to the third baseman. When the team collectively starts swinging the bat, you find those hits.
Second hit is a Padre, and here's Abraham Almonte. His debut as a Padre. Those are his numbers. 27 games at the start of the year with the Mariners. And at 198, he was sent down to the AAA club Tacoma. 25-year-old from the Dominican Republic. And that has the double play written all over it. 6'4", 3. He can run well. You saw that. But it was a room service grounder to the shortstop Simmons. And the Braves turn 2 as Nelson moves to third.
Well, swinging early, it looks like Minor maybe have gotten that cut fastball on the inner part of the plate. Now Monte could not get extended. And the 6-4-3. But you're right, he got down the line quickly.
So he's a man who can steal you a base.
Yep.
Almost beat that relay. Eric Stoltz then with 2 outs. Nelson at third. Trying to help himself. The Padres lead 2-0. And Stoltz has had some success against the man he faces tonight, Mike Minor. He's 2 for 5. One and one.
There's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball against Eric Stoltz.
There's confirmation. 5 for 11 against Minor.
Nice.
Actually, that's against the Braves. 5 for 11, 2 for 5 of that total against Minor.
And usually the pitcher's bats are a lot cleaner than the position player's bats, right? Not a lot of markings. I'm not taking anything away from Eric Stoltz. He's probably one of the strongest pitchers as far as hitters are concerned from the pitching staff. He can send them a long way when he squares one up.
That one chipped foul. Well, the Padres have scored first, and they've been very successful when getting that run on the board before the opposition. They're 31 and 13 scoring first.
I'll take those odds.
Take that over a whole season.
Yeah.
You want to play for that first run. Left field, Justin Upton up a couple of steps. And that's it for the Padres. They get Nelson and Francoeur on base with singles, but pitching out of it is Minor. It remains 2-0.
brought to you by Ram Trucks. Since it's equipment night, we're talking catcher's masks right now. The hockey-style mask on the left, Rene Rivera. And the old traditional mask, which Yasmani Grandal sports when he is wearing the gear. And Yasmani joins us now in the San Diego Padre dugout. Yasmani, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me.
How's it going tonight?
Oh, it's great.
How's the knee going?
Oh, the knee's fine. We had an MRI today. MRI showed nothing, all good things. So
just a little fluid, huh?
Yeah, just a little fluid that kind of went to the back of the knee, and when I squatted down, it kind of hurt a little bit. Got me a little worried. That's why it was a late scratch yesterday. A lot of the guys thought I was getting traded, so it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that rippled through the rumor mill. Now you better put on that mask because the sunflower seeds are flying as Cabrera throws out Simmons, one away here in the third inning.
So, Yasmani, why in the world did you want to become a catcher?
Well, I didn't. My dad wanted me to. I was a third base, first base guy. Always had a good arm, and my dad didn't have a catcher in his team, so he said, hey, you got to take over the catching job. And I ended up, going back there, and then a couple other people saw me, and they said, hey, you should catch. So I was like, well, do I have any other options? And, I went from there on.
When was the first time you put on the gear and squatted behind the plate? First time ever?
For like a very important game, or just like?
No, just whenever. Was it Little League? Was it when you were 10, when you were 15, 18?
I was right about. I'm sorry, Yonder really wants to be on the show today.
He just threw.
If you guys can.
That was a flounder that he just tossed.
Yeah, if you guys can get him on the show somewhere or the other, can you please? No, but I was 15. It was the first time that I did it. Right before I got to 14, actually, right before I got to high school.
Gotcha.
And I got to high school, had a good reputation for hitting, and my high school varsity coach actually told me, he said, hey, we want you to catch. And I actually played third that year, third and catcher, because our third baseman was really bad at the point, so they put me there, and then we had another guy that could catch, but then that guy was really bad, and then they put me back there. So, but yeah, I love playing the infield, no matter whether if it's catching first or third.
You stay around. That was a quick inning.
Yeah.
Simmons rounded the short. Bonifacio in his Atlanta debut struck out. Minor flies out. 9 up, 9 down for Stokes. Why haven't you gone to the hockey style, Yasmani?
I did. When I was in high school, they made a rule change, and we had to wear the hockey mask, obviously. And I didn't really fall in love with it. You know, I didn't like the style. I didn't like the way it fit. And when I got to college, I was able to go back to the two-piece, and I stuck with that one.
Now, Yasmani, is there a way, as we take a look at Gerald Laird behind the plate, he wears the same traditional mask that you do. I don't want to say this. This is okay. This is a dumb question. What's it like getting hit right in the grill with the foul tip, just right in the center of the mask?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago when we were in San Francisco and I got knocked out. I mean, it's like taking a punch to the face. If you get hit hard, right,
Cabrera goes the opposite way. He'll have to hold it first. Watch out for the arm. Bonifacio faking the throw to first base. That's 5 hits already for the Padres. Cabrera's 2 for 2.
If you
there it is, and here are a series of direct hits. That hurts just to hear it.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, if you get hit right on point, you can get knocked out easily. I mean, my jaw, locks up on me a couple of times here and there just from getting hit with baseball. So.
Now, are you ever concerned, Yazzie, about the backswing? Because I know you've gotten hit on the backswing as well a couple times, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm when I got to professional baseball, Cincinnati actually had me moved up on home plate. They felt like I could get a lot of more strikes like that way. So I'm right on top of the hitter. So in an off speed.
And that's Solarte. He was bunting for a base hit, but it serves as a sacrifice.
On an off speed, if they let go of the hand, that backswing is probably going to get me. So you'll see me sometimes, go down on one knee and kind of like, get my head out of there just in case I get hit.
Final question: the bat you use, same bat, left-handed and right-handed?
No, 2 different bats. Actually, Tommy just hit a home run with one of my bats.
Good.
No, I use 243, 35-32 from the right-hand side, and then I use a 356, 35-32 from the left side.
Why the difference?
One of them, it's a little more top-heavy than the other.
Mm-hmm. Which one? The right-handed bat?
Right-handed bat is a little bit more top-heavy. Obviously, I got my throwing hand as a power hand for my right hand to swing. So
on the top hand on the right side.
Top
good
hand,
point. Yeah, that makes sense.
Is that the one Medica used?
Yeah, that is the one Medica used.
They give him spread that around the dugout, will you?
Yeah, I brought 2 out. Obviously, if you look at Quentin, he has 2 of my bats now.
Hey, Yasmani, a question about your mask. Why you don't wear that extension down from the chin, do you?
I don't.
And why is that?
Because I'm not an umpire.
There are some catchers, though, that do that just so they can protect your throat a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how that happens, but I mean, the only way I can protect my throat is when I go down for a block, and the one thing they teach us when you go down for a block is to have your face down. So it kind of it's like a checkpoint. If they get hit in the throat, it's because I'm not actually looking down at the ball. So.
You can see Laird has a little metal extension in the bottom of his mask.
Yeah, usually that's how they come.
Yeah. Well, Yasmani, thank you for the insight, and a real nugget. Medica's home run off the bat of Yasmani Grandal. That could have been yours.
I know, man. I could have had number 10. Hopefully I could get it in this series.
All right. Thanks a lot, Yasmani.
All right, thank you, guys.
So we examine the equipment. Of course, no one is more involved with the equipment than the man behind the plate, the man behind the mask. So Jerko up there, and he drives one to right field. Fair ball. Cabrera comes home. Jerko continues his hot hitting, and the Padres lead
3-0. Well, we mentioned about the numbers for these Padres after the All-Star break and their rankings. Runners in scoring position, average runs per game, home runs. And how about Jed Jerko? Not only pulling the baseball with some authority, but going the opposite way as well. The point I'm trying to make is, you know what? Nice, easy swings. Good hitters counts. Even when they're in a pitcher's count, not panicking. That's why I think you see those good numbers that these Padres hitters have put up since the All-Star break.
And how about Jerko? He's back from the DL, 5 games, 8 for 16. A couple of home runs. And using the entire field. Home run to right field yesterday afternoon, a double to right tonight. Medica. Yasmani Medica at the plate. Using Grandal's bat for the home run the first time up. Did a nice job there, huh? A little color action from Grandal.
Another one. That one isn't going to come down till it hits the upper deck. Oh my! Grandal's bat works again. Medica back-to-back home runs. And the Padres lead 5-0 on a pair of 2-run home runs by Tommy Medica.
Boy, you talk about crushing mistakes. Well, the first ball off the bat of Medica tonight was a line drive. This one, he gets under, gets extended, upper tank, about halfway up the upper deck in left field. Now giving Eric Stultz some breathing room, which he deserves.
Just went out, and Rivera, it's soft liner to second. So the Padres have cleared that hurdle over the 3-run hurdle. They've got 5. And you know what that means. 34-5 on the season when they score at least 4. Well, explosion. When's the last time we've seen a hitter get back-to-back home runs to open a game, both with a man on? And Yasmani loves it. He's got to get he should get 10% of that, shouldn't he? Using his bat. No one happier than Grandal.
Hey, now that's a teammate. Hey, you need a bat? Hey, use mine. Plenty of hits in that bat. Plenty to go around. Enjoy.
We're just in the 3rd inning, and Tommy Medica with a couple of home runs and 4 runs batted in, boosting the Padres to a 5-0 lead. Doc Roberts there with a big smile. Andrew Kastner is going to throw a serious bullpen tomorrow. So in the inning, Cabrera led off with a ground ball single pass first. Solarte sacrificed him to second. Jerko brought him in with a double into the right field corner, and Medica really polishes one deep to left field. 438 feet it's measured. That one slicing toward the crowd, and that'll be a souvenir.
I guarantee you one thing. Tommy Medica knows he's going to be in the lineup, whether it's tomorrow, the next day, whatever he ate today, whatever he did today, he's going to do it again. I'll guarantee you that. Not only superstitious about the type of equipment that these guys use, but superstitious about what they do during their day, and they have a good game.
Memory serves, Medica has never hit 2 home runs in a single game, much less back-to-back. Another foul. Seth Smith this year hit 2 in one game. That was way back at the start of the season. As we said, 438 feet on that blast. Nub foul. Count remains full of Rivera. Chris Nelson on deck. Now, we told you both pitchers have been guilty of throwing the long ball. 16 home runs at the start by Minor, and he's thrown 2 more tonight. And ball 4. That's the first walk, as we remind you, time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SDFanPhoto. A chance to have it shown on our telecast, brought to you by AT&T.
As Roger McDowell, the pitching coach, goes out to talk with Minor, I want to go back to that at bat, Rene Rivera. That was a good at bat. He fouled off a changeup, 3-2. It remained 3-2. He flipped up a breaking ball for a ball. Good recognition. Good plate appearance for Rene Rivera, drawing the walk. You're welcome.
Yeah, we talked about in our little presentation at the start of the telecast about that sweet sound when bat intersects ball in just the right spot. And Medica certainly had that on the last swing. Wow, was that a blast. Well, the old equipment, the old flannel uniforms, that goes back. San Diego history. The light uniforms, the lighter masks, the lighter bats,
yep.
Everything is lighter.
Yep.
Chris Nelson singled to left field his first time. So Minor, in his 17th start, has now allowed 18 home runs. All right, the sound of a home run. Everyone here at Petco Park at the crack of the bat knew that one was gone. High strike on the breaking ball, 1-2.
You know what's great about that shot right there? Dave Roberts, the bench coach for Buddy Black. It could be something totally unrelated to the home run. Maybe they're talking defense. Because obviously Dave Roberts played the outfield. Tommy Medica.
Or it might be just a confirming, hey, that's what we told you. You remember, that's what you look for.
Right.
That's what you get.
He can play the outfield. He's at first base tonight, but so much going on that bench talking about just trying to make yourself better. What a better guy to talk to than Dave Roberts.
Out of play. And the pitch count climbing for Minor. The next toss will be his 50th. Well, the Padres are going to see a tough customer tomorrow night. Game 2, it'll be Ian Kennedy for the Padres, trying to level his record at 9-9 against Irvin Santana, who was brilliant in Atlanta in beating San Diego earlier this week. Or last weekend.
Interesting to see how Chris Nelson approaches this at bat, being in the hole now. Was 0-2, now 1-2. He takes a pitch up and out of the zone. Now to go 2-2. He's not going to go after that high outside pitch. He's going to let the pitcher Minor come to him.
And the count full. So he's battled, taking it to 3-2. Missed. Padres fouling a lot of pitches tonight. Rivera spoiled 3-4 before he worked the count full and a walk. And now Nelson the same. 5-0 San Diego. You're in the home half of the third. High fly ball, right field, routine, Bonifacio. 2 away. And time for our Saquon Casino Daycation stat of the game tonight. Involves National League leaders, pitchers, strikeouts, starting pitchers, strikeouts. The Dodgers, with Clayton Kershaw and Greinke leading the way, 624 times they've struck out an opposing batter, and Atlanta's second at 598. That's bolstered by Craig Kimbrell, who strikes out the world.
And also, now that you look at the Cubs, number 3, they lose some margin to the Oakland A's, so not as many swings and misses from the Cubbies. As Freddie Gonzalez looks on.
Yeah, a little dour there at 5-0 down. Kimbrell has 74 strikeouts in 42 innings.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Obscene. Francoeur fisted a single to left field his first time. Two outs here in the third, 3 runs home, and the Padres have 5. A 1-1. So 5 o'clock tomorrow, our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego, a 5:40 start. Ian Kennedy, Irvin Santana. That's a delicious matchup. If you like pitching, you ought to be out here tomorrow night. Fly ball to right toward the line, fairly shallow. And Bonifacio squeezes the final out, but the Padres get 3 in the third. RBI double Jerko, and Tommy Medica puts a jolt in his second home run in 2 at-bats tonight. A 5 spot for the Padres.
I went old traditional oil when I was younger. Then I transitioned to shaving cream. I transitioned to soaking it in water for 30 seconds, bring it out of the water, throwing shaving cream on it then. I used to go like this a lot with it, just move it around. I put 2 baseballs in the pocket, wrapped it around with a string when I was a kid. And I did that in my 30s as well when I was still an active player.
All right, everyone had their own system. Shaving cream part of his routine.
Oh, I just love it the way that Buddy describes things. I mean, he was describing, how he performed heart surgery on somebody.
That glove is your best friend.
That's right.
3-0 now. B.J. Upton. Now that's a strike. Eric Stoltz has gone through the first 3 innings perfectly. 1 strikeout. 3-2.
Hey, throw him another one. Challenge him. Knee-high fastball.
B.J. grounded to second on the first pitch of the game. This one to right field. Francoeur has to get back. and drops the ball. Into second goes Upton. That ball carrying better than Franco read it off the bat, and he started to go back easily. Then the faster back pedal, and it's tough to, your eyes start to bounce around when you're trying to run backwards, and that ball in his glove and out, and it's an error.
And you can tell Jeff's upset with himself. At first he kind of stood his ground, and then he had to go back. Very catchable ball, E9. Jeff would be the first one to say, I've got to catch that ball, no excuses. And you know what, honestly, with the 5-run lead, it's stuff like that you can kind of say, okay, now I've got to battle, hopefully leave him out there. But it's not like if he scores, they're going to take the lead.
Tommy La Stella, the second baseman, grounded to Medica unassisted the first time. Well, it's the first time in a long time that Francoeur has played right field here at Petco Park. And it was almost as if he wasn't quite sure how close that wall was as he went into that back pedal. Oh, and 2 on La Stella. Ground ball left side. That'll hold the runner at second. And Nelson throws him out. Unable to move BJ over to third where they can score in and out. That'll bring up Freddie Freeman. So Freeman and Upton, the top 2 hitters for the Braves now, back to back with the man in scoring position.
Oh, Mark Loretta down by the Padres dugout. Mark, how many gloves did you go through in your big league career?
I went through a lot, Mud. I played a lot of different positions, so I had a first base glove, I had an outfielder's glove, I had a glove I used at shortstop and second, a different one for third. So I went through a lot of them.
So you weren't one of these guys that had your one baby, your one girl through your whole career where you just, that's it. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I had one glove. When I was playing every day, I had one glove, obviously, that I wear at second or short, and that would probably typically last me about 2 years. I didn't like gloves after they got real loose and kind of floppy. I liked a little bit more of a firm feel on my glove.
Did you ever play with Mike Morgan?
No.
He must have had a glove for 11, 12 years.
Really?
Yeah. You know what would be neat to do is get some old file footage of Mike Morgan in his later years, the glove he used. You could tell that thing had been around the block and then some.
See, pitchers barely have to use their gloves.
So easy. Okay, I got you. Yeah, whatever.
Justin Upton with brother BJ at third, 2 outs. As Stoltz getting La Stella and then Freeman to bounce out and trying to pitch around the arrow by Francoeur in right field.
You a Wilson guy, Mark Loretta?
I was.
Yeah,
certainly was.
Good glove.
You too?
Yes. Love Wilson.
Yeah, I love those guys. Yes. Paulson and Jimmy Hacken, those guys. You know them over at Wilson in Chicago. Great guys.
Scott Paulson, absolutely. Remember Lefty Gomez?
Oh, yeah.
Worked for Wilson. Dick, you remember Lefty Gomez?
Oh, Goofy Gomez. Yeah.
He was one of the reps with Wilson gloves, and he would always come around spring training and tell some stories back in the day. Gosh, what a pleasure to be around.
He was a funny man. He's one of the games with the Yankees, a plane went overhead and he just stopped pitching and just watched the plane fly over. Ball 4 on 4 pitches. Manager had to come out and say, hey, Lefty, there's a batter up there, come on, throw the ball. He said, I'm afraid of this hitter. I don't want to throw it.
Always a fun day in spring training, guys, when either the Rawlings or Wilson or Mizuno guys come around and give you those gloves you're going to use for the year. It's always a great day for the players.
I remember getting 3 gloves a year. Is that right?
Yeah, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because depending on what you needed.
Here's Chris Johnson, grounded to third his first time. First and third, 2 out. Swing and a miss on a change. So you use the sportscaster's motto: if it's free, take 3, huh?
Hey, there's a Wilson.
There it is, A2000.
Yeah.
Change up, 1-1.
See, now, Mudd, isn't it the pitchers pick the brand by what else that particular company makes, right? Like what type of golf clubs or hunting equipment and stuff like that, right?
That's a good point. Yes. I remember Wilson's staff, right?
Right.
Mizuno.
Out of play down the right field line. That's slicing back into the crowd.
Yeah, because typically how they compensate you for wearing a glove or shoes or batting gloves or whatever is with merchandise. And if you have, let's say you have Rawlings and they own Easton, for example. Well, Easton's big in hunting or hockey or something. So these guys would load up with, hockey goalie equipment, etc. for the offseason. Pretty funny.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Johnson. Runners at the corners for Atlanta. 5-0 Padres. Ground ball into right field. And scoring is B.J. Upton. The way to third is Justin Upton, as Chris Johnson delivers his 47th RBI of the season. An unearned run for the Braves here in the 4th inning. Just out of the reach of Jerko.
Doing a nice job of the hands. First, barrel following, and then the 18-hopper just gets by Jed Jerko for the RBI.
And the Braves now 1 swing away from jumping right back into this one. 5-1 with 2 on, 2 out. Catcher Gerald Laird flied to left his first time. Gets an occasional start. Evan Gattis, of course, the big power hitting catcher, getting the night off tonight. And Laird always seems to come up with something. He had a big hit in his start in Atlanta. Ooh, he hit that one well, but hooks it foul.
Hey, since we're talking equipment, hey, the Trilby, the fedora, that's part of every person should have one of those in their closet.
One of the Padre giveaways on Saturday night baseball in San Diego. And we'll have the floppy hat going tomorrow night.
Nice.
That's got my partner here, Mark Grant, all the Twitter. And that's without any tweets.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
still a Twitter.
And, hopefully I'll get 3 of them.
Kick you out of the fraternity if you only take 1. They're free. Popped up, back a second, shallow and right. Francoeur calling, and makes the catch. Braves get an unearned run. It's 5-1 after 3.5. Friendly, real close. By Jack in the Box. Head in for the new jalapeno, ranch, or barbecue ultimate cheeseburgers. And by the Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. Visit us at aramco.biz. Another beautiful summer's night in our fine city as we welcome you back to Petco Park. Padres coming up in the bottom of the 4th inning. They have 5 runs on 7 hits. 4 of them accounted by 2 2-run homers from Tommy Medica. 1 unearned run on 1 hit for Atlanta. New Padre Abraham Almonte, the hitter. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in his first appearance as a Padre. Switch hitter, 25 years of age, from the Dominican Republic. First signed by the Yankees 9 years ago as a teenager. That one nubbed foul. And a look at the player profile of Abraham Almonte. 5'9", a stocky 205. There it is, signed by the Yankees as a free agent out of the Dominican Republic. 9 career minor league seasons, 53 home runs.
Yeah, the capital city, Santo Domingo. Tell you what, if you ever get a chance, wintertime, go to the Dominican Republic.
I want to.
Check out some Winter League baseball.
I'd like to go to the academy, the Padre Academy.
You should. It's a blast.
Check swing on a ball in the dirt. No swing.
I mean, beautiful beaches down there. People were great. I love going down there.
Why don't we go down there together? Maybe bring our wives down there. I think the Padres ought to send us down there just to have background. Ball 4, a leadoff walk. Almonte is on. And let's go to Chris Budden. Chris.
If you ever wanted to take home a piece of the game or the piece of the park, well, look no further than inside Petco Park. In sections 100 and 121, you can buy a piece used in the game. All of it, from bats, balls, pictures, uniforms, you name it, they've got it there. They actually have authenticators hang around after the games and authenticate each of these pieces. So for those fans out there that want to add something to their home office or collect memorabilia, you got it right here at Petco Park.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You know, the birthdays and the holiday gifts. Yeah, baseball fan, tuck it away.
Yeah, it's one of a kind, right? It's not something you can buy anywhere. It makes a great gift.
That was a nice presentation. The Jerko picture with the ball encapsulated in the frame. Bunt by Stoltz. They're going to go to second base, and they do get him there, not at first base. Oh, that was close at second. A gamble by third baseman Johnson, and the ball just did beat Almonte.
You know, we theoretically could have a double challenge here, because Buddy Black could theoretically challenge that call at second base. Freddie Gonzalez looks like he might challenge the call at first base. Now the bunt, Johnson was all over it. Remember, it's a forced play. Yeah, he got him there, it looks like. But on the back end,
I think Stoltz was able to get his foot on the bag just before the catch. So the calls. Brian Knight at second. First base umpire Fielden Culbreth at first. And no challenge. Good. Hope you had a chance yesterday's Union Tribune.
Yeah, you wrote a nice article on that.
No, that was Nick Canepa, but boy, he couldn't have been more right. Nick Canepa, the sagacious, wise writer, experienced at UT.
Huh? How do you spell that?
Just look up wise.
So I should look up owl.
He basically said in his final line that the replay system, get rid of it. It failed. It stinks. Bravo. Cabrera, 2 for 2 and 2 runs scored tonight. Safe on the fielder's choice, Eric Stoltz. Mark Loretta is down by the Padre dugout. We talked about the glove. Did you change the weight or length of the bat as you became more mature as a player?
Well said there. Not older, right? More mature.
Right,
yes,
right.
Thanks. A little bit. I went a little lighter as I got older, but I stuck pretty much with the same bat, 33.5 inches, 32 ounce, most of my career.
So that's relatively short, isn't it? 33.
That's about a half inch short, but I liked having the little bit heavier weight. You see, most of these guys use 31 and a half. I liked having a little bit more weight with a shorter bat. It felt like it was.
Tell you what,
solid.
I had my hands on your bat up here in the dining room, Mark, and I tell you what, that was a pea shooter. It was so small.
Keep your hands off his bat.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I just thought it would be bigger.
This whole segment should be recast as Innuendo Friday.
Oh, my.
Well, we're waiting.
What was the question? I got distracted.
I forgot, too. I don't think we want to encourage him, Mark.
Yeah.
You know who used a really short bat was Tony Gwynn. You talk about a pea shooter.
That's right. I think it was 32 inches, wasn't it?
Yeah. Very short.
It's barely bigger than a Little League bat.
Just a wand, and it was magic.
Yes, it was.
'70th pitch coming up from Mike Minor here with 1 out. Padres have a runner at first. Stoltz safe on the fielder's choice. Boy, this is early for the Wave, huh? 4th inning. (5-1) the Padres lead. Full count on Cabrera. Seems that Mike Minor has gone 3-2 on half the hitters so far. Fly ball right center. Coasting over is B.J. Upton to make the catch. 2 away.
Okay, Mark Loretta, the difference between cupped and uncupped bats.
Yeah, there you see it on the screen. Basically what the cup does is take a little bit of the weight out of the end of the bat without affecting, you know, what word am I looking for? The
well, the sweet spot.
The density of the
density.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you very much, Mud. I was looking for that sagacious word you'd come up with.
Right. Well, and I didn't even go to Northwestern.
You didn't? That was your safety school. I knew that.
Yeah, Harvard, you couldn't resist that. Ground ball foul. It would seem to the average fan that when you would cup a bat, that if you hit the ball off the end of the bat, you'd break it easier. Isn't that true?
Well, you can dent the end and you can flake it a little bit, but it's only about 3/4 of an inch deep. It doesn't really affect the brittleness of it.
Shouldn't be hitting that down there anyway, huh?
That's right.
So Solarte is lined to center and sacrificed tonight.
Majority of the bats in the big leagues are cupped these days.
Yeah.
You can see Solarte's is. Stoltz still there at first base. Freeman playing behind him. Line drive, base hit. Solarte whistles one to left. That's the 8th hit for the Padres tonight. Stoltz stops at second. Chance to add to the 5-1 lead.
What do you think of the swing of Solarte, Mark Loretta?
You know what I like about him, Mud? It's aggressive. This guy plays with confidence, and he's got passion for the game. But he can tomahawk some balls. This ball's up in the zone. He gets on top of it. That was impressive.
Yeah, no pun intended, right, with the Braves in town.
Yes, Tom. Chop.
Padres have done a good job of late with runners in scoring position. You saw they're second best in the National League. 10 for 28. Jerko fly to right, doubled in a run and scored himself on Medica's second home run in the 3rd. And he's steadily raising that average up. It was 162 when he went on the DL. He's hiked that now 24 points. 8 for 16. Good cut.
Well, Mark Loretta, I know it's a short time since Jed Jerko has been back as Tommy Medica waits on deck, but what do you see in the turnaround with Jed Jerko?
I see some adjustments. I see him spreading out a little bit more. I think he's more under control with the stride. I also, getting back to the bat situation, you notice he's using a black bat. Never seen him use a black one before he came back. I have a hunch it's either a little bit shorter or a little bit lighter.
Inside, 2-1.
You know, nobody likes to go on the disabled list and have a lot of time off, and particularly when your numbers aren't good, because you just sit on those for weeks at a time. And I know Jed's been pulling his hair out to get back.
He's come back with a roar. Line drive, double play. Runner was going, Stoltz, and that ball aimed right at the second baseman, unassisted double play.
He used towards the end of his big league career. I tend to like mine a little flimsier or more broken in than other ones. For me, it's important that a glove feels like an extension of your hand out there, especially when you're running full speed and you just, all you might have is to reach out and grab it. You want to know that it's just as if you had your hand out there just grab for the ball. I'm Will Venable, and this is my glove.
Well, you see the size of Venable's glove and even that youngster's glove, and you with the glove that we showed you at the start. This is a 1940s model, the kind that Jerry Coleman would have used, infielders of that stage. And you see why you had to catch the ball with two hands in those days. You try to catch a ball one-handed there, you got to be perfect. There's no other room there. So when you caught the ball, you had the other hand to make sure it didn't get away.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want? I got to show you another ball. We can talk more about.
Oh,
Look at this ball.
Did you use this on the farm?
No, this is from Havana, Cuba. A nice young kid playing.
Really?
Cuban, their version of Little League, and it's not. Feel how hard that is. That's just string and tape and string and tape and string and tape, and that's how they. Yeah, how about that?
Wow.
Huh? It was nice. I was admiring that. We were trying to communicate with each other through an interpreter, and I said, "No, that's really terrific." And as we left his home, he said, "You take it, take it back to U.S." 5-1, Padres lead. We've completed 4. Simmons, Bonifacio, and the pitcher minor scheduled here in the 5th against Eric Stoltz. The run unearned scored by Atlanta.
Okay, this glove, actually, Dick, I think you should let the cat out of the bag. This is actually out of Alexi Amarisa's sporting room in his house. It's a couch that he uses to sit in and watch TV.
Yeah, maybe. That's got some miles on it, though, doesn't it?
Get it?
Yeah, Alexi, he's not real big.
Those big size, life-size chairs they have mixed out of them.
Nice play by Medica. Takes that out of right field. One away. Simmons denied.
Nice play by Tommy Medica all the way around with the wood and with the leather.
And he's going to be first up in the bottom of this inning, so don't wander away.
Remember, this ball is slicing off the bat of Simmons. Nice play, Tommy.
Bonifacio, his first game as an Atlanta Brave. The Cubs traded Bonifacio and left-handed reliever James Russell. He's in uniform out in the bullpen for Atlanta, for a young catcher, a 21-year-old from the Dominican, Victor Caratini, who was a second-round draft pick of Atlanta. He goes to the Cubs. Cubs already, many feel, have the best minor league players in baseball, and they add another in this young catcher.
Just about to say that. Good point.
Bonifacio struck out, took a third strike first time. 2-0. It's in there, 86 miles an hour.
You know, I want to extend a big thank you to Michael Babita with the San Diego Padres and merchandise. He's the one who brought up all those gloves.
Oh, yeah, that's
the catcher's mask, the bat. He even brought an old jersey and jacket from the PCL days. A couple of gloves, a catcher's glove. So thank you very much, Michael. A good egg. Does a good job with the Padres merchandising.
Yeah, and while we're doing that, tip of the cup, Padre kept Jason Lewis, our producer. It was his concept. He went to all the work writing that tease and producing a beautiful piece at the start.
Great job.
And ball 4. That is the first walk from Stultz. He doesn't give many free tickets. Well, time now for the cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. The Padres have used 454 dozen baseballs in their 55 home games so far. That's an average of 8.25 dozen per game, or more simply 98 baseballs a game. 98 a game. Well, you got the foul balls. You got every time the ball hits the ground, they throw it out. Minor up there to sacrifice. He flied to right the first time. That's a good looking bunt. 2-4 on the putout. Bonifacio moves to second base on the sacrifice.
Hey, believe me, Brian Perlman down in that clubhouse, he has all that documented. He showed me on his computer before the game today. Balls used since like 1992. How many balls used in spring training, batting practice, games. Unbelievable.
Well, certainly in the last 10 years, the amount of balls used in a game has to have doubled and tripled, because the ball used to go in the dirt. They keep it in play. Now, like that ball there, you got to put in a new one.
And you know what I don't understand about that? They'll throw that ball out, but a guy will square one up, a one hopper to the shortstop, throw it to first, and that ball will stay in play. Nobody will say anything about that one.
Take something away from the pitcher. They've got a new smooth ball instead of one that might have just a little scuff on it.
Sure.
B.J. Upton has grounded to second, and it was his fly ball dropped by Francoeur and Wright that led to the unearned run. Now there is quite a team.
All right, yeah, absolutely. Okay, now if this was a horse race, win, place, show. Brian, take a hike. Spencer,
what are you talking about?
Spencer, you're okay. And Tony Patrica, he's number 1.
Oh boy!
I just had to have some fun with those guys. Hey, it's a photo finish all the way around.
Yeah.
Those guys know I'm kidding. Those guys bust their tails down there. I love each and every one of those guys.
Yeah, Brian Perlman is going to have a really nice seat for you on the next charter flight.
Oh, gosh. No, I love each of and Brian and I go way back to the 1987. And Spencer worked in the minor leagues with the AAA affiliate up in Portland back in the day. And then, of course, Tony Patrica has been around forever. Love that man. They all do a great job.
Donlin, he's so handy with a needle and thread, or those awls that fix leather equipment. I mean, he irons. He puts on the. You get a new player coming in. Boy, he's the one who has to get the new letters on the back of the jersey. Yeah, they are quite a team.
Yeah.
Patrica to Donlin to Perlman. And he didn't drop the ball, even though Mudd was going to say that. Outside, Upton, and the count is full. It was the second walk, Bonifacio's, a second walk off Stultz, and that's about his limit. 25 of 29 games allowing 2 walks or less. And that's the third one tonight, a couple in the inning. See, there's Patrica. One of his jobs is to use some of that riverbed mud to get just the right amount on a ball to take the shine off the ball.
Yeah, there's a technique. You put too much on there, it's too dark, and don't put enough on. It still has some of that slicky feel to it. He's a pro.
Now, this is a good visit to the mound. As Stultz, out of character, walking 2 men here with a 5-1 lead. So Darren Bowlesley out to just go over the hitters with him.
And just as a reminder, you know, when you get a brand, let's say you go to the sporting goods store, you can buy a Rawlings, you know, Major League Baseball, right?
Right.
You take it right out of the box. It's got that little tissue paper around it. It's it's slippery. Then you rub that mud on there to take the shine off, and you give it a little bit of coarse feel to where you can get a better grip on the baseball.
Not a horse hide anymore.
No.
It's the old cowhide. Tommy La Stella, rookie second baseman, with 2 on, 2 out here in the 5th inning. He has grounded out twice, to first and to third. Bonifacio at second and Upton at first, the 2 fastest Braves.
"108 stitches in a baseball."
108 is correct. Imagine working in a factory and stitching a baseball all day long.
Man,
never mind.
No, seriously. I mean, because you know there's the right amount of tension each and every time. You know, stitched by hand, right?
You can't have the seams too high.
Right.
Although you wouldn't mind that if
Love
you're
the high
pitching.
seams as a pitcher. You bet.
Freddie Freeman on deck. And a big pitch here, 2-1, an action pitch with 2 on, 2 out, 2 walks again. Stoltz with a 5-1 lead, and with the walks has worked himself into the heart of the batting order after La Stella. Then it's Freeman and Justin Upton. You want to get this rookie right here. Grounded sharply to Medica. He'll take it to the bag, and the inning is over. Couple of walks, no damage done. We're at the halfway mark in this one. One Padres in time for the Bill Howe plays of the game. First inning, a 2-run homer, lower deck, Tommy Medica. Next time up, giant home run deep into the second tier, 438 feet. And Yasmani Grandal with a big smile as Medica was using Grandal's bat, as we learned in our interview during the course of the game. And here's Medica, 2 for 2 with 2-run home runs. 4 runs batted in, and can he take minor deep again? Breaking ball for a strike. Players with 3 home runs in a game this season: Ryan Braun with the Brewers, Chris Davis, Baltimore, Lonnie Chisenhall of Cleveland. Only 3 in the dirt, 1-1. Speaking of home runs, on this date, August 1st, 1977, big stretch. Willie McCovey hit his 18th Grand Slam home run. That still is the most ever in the National League. Not the most ever. Alex Rodriguez, 24 with the Yankees. One more than the Iron Horse Lou Gehrig with 23. Two and one.
Mark Loretta, did you ever borrow anybody's bat or any stories about borrowing bats?
I've seen it before. I've seen guys who've just been exasperated with an 0 for 5 and just grab one out of the rack and ask the guy if I can take that up. But you mentioned Brian Perlman. I bet you Tommy Medica, the first thing he's going to do after this game is go into Brian and say, call up Louisville Slugger, give me a dozen of these C243s in a hurry.
And he settles for a single this time. Yeah, he'll just throw that away. 3 for 3 for Medica as we go to Chris.
Medica isn't the only one borrowing bats. I was asking around the clubhouse why they prefer certain bats, and Yonder Alonso told me that he's been using Seth Smith's bat. And I asked Eric Stoltz, he says, well, I've been using Chris Denorfia's bat. Not quite sure if he had to give it back after yesterday, but thinking at this point maybe everyone should go give Grandal a little tap and maybe borrow his.
It's certainly working well for Medica, isn't it? Rene Rivera, soft liner to second, and he walked the second time up. Yeah, Medica, remember, came close to the cycle
in Arizona. Yeah,
he's had some big games, and here's another 2 home runs and a single. 3 for 3, 4 runs batted in.
Well, the thing I like about that last hit, looked like it was up and away, but he got the top hand and hit the top half of the baseball rather than working underneath it.
And beat the shift. They gave him that whole right side, and he shot it right through there where a second baseman might have been. Racking up the hits, the Padres. 5 runs and 9 hits so far. Ground ball, nice stop by Johnson, and he gets the out. He took a double away from Rivera.
Wow.
Medica into second base.
That is a big league play there. Butts Johnson set, quick reaction, one hopper. Hits so hard, and Rivera does not run well that he has plenty of time, gets him by about 4 steps.
And here goes Medica into third base.
They weren't paying attention.
No, there's a little carelessness in the Braves infield, and Medica with no one there at third base after Johnson had made that big play, saw an opening, and that's a big advance. Now the Padres can get a run on and out. See, let's see what happens here. Kind of walking away.
Chris Johnson's worrying about the dirt,
and Minor never even looked back.
Yep.
It's a stolen base. And a chopper foul off the bat of Chris Nelson. He has a single in 2 trips. Pick up that run, stay out of Grand Slam range. Infield in. Nelson, since joining the club, with 5 runs batted in. 0-2. Well, a nice crowd on this Friday night. Perfect baseball night. Padres with a 5-1 lead, a chance for more. And we could have another sellout tomorrow night with those floppy hats being given away by Padre management. 5:30 or 5:40 game time, 5 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego. Struck him out. Won't get a run on and out. That'll be up to Jeff Francoeur. Minor hadn't struck out anyone, so he picked the perfect spot for his first.
Went up and out of the zone as well with the high fastball. He's a Jeff Francoeur fan.
Soft single to left his first time, and a fly ball to right. 1-2. 1-4-2. High ball one.
That's exactly where he wanted it, because Gerald Laird was up and out of the crouch behind the plate. He wanted the high fastball.
And Francoeur likes to pull the trigger on that high fastball. And another 2-0. With the Braves, had a couple of 100-plus RBI years in Atlanta.
He might not give him anything to hit right here. He might want to pitch Del Monte.
Line drive, but right to the second baseman, Listella. That's twice. Jerko in the last inning, and now Francoeur. Line shots, but right to the glove of the second baseman.
I just know that when you sweat a lot, it tends to dry the sweat up. That's the only thing I know about it. I mean, it's been on the mound since I was in the minor leagues, and something I've used to help me, in humid weather, and just helps you get a little, I guess, better feel for the baseball as well.
Eric Stoltz talking about using the Rosin bag. I asked him, is there a method to it? How often do you go to it? He said, not really. Whenever I feel my hand getting sweaty, he says, it's nice, though, if I give up a bad pitch, maybe a run, a home run, I have something I can go and throw on the mound. I pick it up and throw it on the dirt. Then I'm angry.
It's a little sticky, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it is, especially when it gets hot and humid, guys. You get it on your forearm, get it on your hand, and it becomes sticky. You get a better feel for the baseball. More spin on your fastball and a better grip on that breaking ball. It's not as sticky as pine tar, which the hitters can use, and I have an issue with that. If they can use it, why can't a pitcher? Anyway.
2-2 to Freeman.
Violinists use it as well on their
bows
and on the strings, and that's why you see, if you're watching a violinist and it's kind of get right light, you see some dust coming up from the strings.
Strike three. Freeman caught looking. Hell, put a little violin solo to that strikeout.
Yeah. And the definition, rosin, a solid form of resin obtained from pines and some other plants. It is used in powdered form by pitchers for better control of the ball.
So rosin from resin. There you go. A couple of strikeouts now for Stoltz as he gets Freeman. 0 for 3, Freddie Freeman. And here's Justin Upton. Long out to right and a walk.
Mark Loretta, did you use a combination of like maybe Moda stick or pine tar rag or rosin?
Yeah, I did. I used all three, really. And I was just going to say there is a rosin bag on the on-deck circle as well. And since pine tar is stickier than the rosin, it almost makes things a little less sticky. So if you put too much pine tar on there, you can always go to the rosin to de-sticky it.
Let me look up that word. I got a Webster right here.
De-stickify.
Yeah, here's the Moda stick right there, which is Manny Mota, right? He developed that. Manny Mota, the coach now with the Dodgers.
That's the word. Yeah, it's like a it almost looks like a giant thing of caramel that you sort of peel away as you use it. It's a little bit harder than caramel. Don't eat it though.
No.
1-2 to Upton. Got him looking. Both Freeman and Upton punched out here to open the 6th inning. Third strikeout for Eric Stoltz.
And he gets the high strike, it looks like. You know what? I've got no problem with that. Mark Loretta, I know he's a hitter. He'd probably balk at that one, but just a ball above the belt buckle, I see nothing wrong with that. Mark?
I thought it was belt high. Yeah, I agree. If they're going to, I'd rather have them call that one than the one 3 or 4 inches off the plate.
There you go. I'll take that.
First pitch strike to Chris Johnson, who was able to trickle a single through the right side and drive in the only Atlanta run back in the 4th inning. Upton safe on a 2-base error by Francoeur after a couple of outs. And a walk to Upton. Johnson able to single to right field to make it 5-1.
Dick, you remember Gaylord Perry?
Absolutely.
Mark Loretta, Gaylord Perry?
Sure.
He threw a puff ball. He put so much rosin in his hand that when he'd throw the ball, a puff would come out from his hand.
That's right.
It was the puff ball.
Yeah, he put more than a little puff on the ball.
Action in the Braves bullpen. Hale on the left.
Cloudy on the right.
Mary on the left, Hale on the right.
That ball driven into the left field corner, and that's going to fall on one hop up against the boards. Fast fielding by Solarte, but into second with a slide is Johnson. The second hit tonight by the Braves, both by Chris Johnson. He's been a hot hitter.
You know what? I don't mean to embarrass the man because I know he's very humble. But what you just saw in that swing right there is exactly what Mark Loretta did during his career. He was one of the best at turning on that pitch and keeping it fair. Mark Loretta, take it away.
You're making me blush, Mud, out here.
No,
Thank you very
I'm
much.
truly honest when I say that.
Well, you got to pull the hands in on that ball inside, and I think Chris Johnson is a very underrated player. He came over from I believe it was Houston, right? But he's found a home here in Atlanta. This guy's a good ball player. You saw that diving play he made, and now he's got that ringing double.
But I remember you told me a while ago, Mark, that was one of your that was kryptonite to you earlier in your professional career, and you really worked on that to keep that ball fair and turn on that inside fastball.
Yeah, that was part of my maturation process as a hitter. I could always hit the ball the other way and up the middle, I felt like, but pitchers would pound me in, and I felt like that was a big hole. And one day I finally said, you know what, I'm going to start turning on that ball, and instead of not pull it by just kind of getting out and rolling over, but trying to stay inside and keep the hands in and still pull it.
And you did it quite well, my friend.
And once that happened, once you can kind of close up all your holes, then you become dangerous.
Johnson was with, by the way, Mark, was with Houston, but last year with Arizona, traded by Arizona to Atlanta. That was part of that big deal. Martin Prado going to Arizona, and Justin Upton and Chris Johnson to Atlanta. They picked up two power hitters to fortify their lineup from the D-backs. And now Prado just recently traded yesterday to the Yankees, right?
That's right.
One ball, one strike to Laird.
Mark Loretta, did you wear a cup?
Yes, sir.
You would be surprised. You'd be surprised how many guys in that clubhouse do not wear a cup.
Oh, I know. It's
incredible. I did a poll today. 15 of the Padres do not wear a cup.
That's
Are you
unreal.
kidding me?
That's nuts.
And some of them are pitchers.
It was an informal poll, I trust.
Hey, it's most important part of the equipment.
6-3.
You don't have this?
Ow!
Ow! Bad hop. It's your best friend.
do what it's supposed to do. 1999 El Duque, ball stuck in his glove. So you throw the glove over to first and get the out. The ball stuck in the webbing, and that is a legal play.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, he's out. Tino Martinez. Is that Tino Martinez over at first base there making the two-handed grab? That's the old 1-3 put out. Oh, you never know what you're going to see at the ball yard, right?
Boy, that's a quick reaction, though, huh?
Yeah.
All right, bottom of the 6th inning, a new pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, Juan Jaime.
And this pitch change, Dick, is brought to you by Drew Ford. There are the numbers. The short sample size, only 5 games for the right-hander. 8 strikeouts, only 1 walk. So in the short time, 4+ innings, he's a strike thrower. And lefties hitless, righties 100.
Mike Minor, last 5 innings, gives up 5 earned runs, 9 hits, 2 walks and a strikeout, and he continues to puzzle Atlanta management and fans because this is a 13-9 pitcher from a year ago. And Minor starting tonight 4-6 with a posting batting average of .306. And that'll go up with the Padres getting 9 hits in the first 5 innings.
Mark Loretta, any strange things that you've seen in your career?
Well, just like those, I have seen that where the guy can't get it out of his glove and he tosses over to first. My question is, if the first baseman drops the glove, is it an error?
I would think so. I mean, that's a tough error.
Tough error. I think that's a unusual, extraordinary effort to try and catch a glove that far from El Duque. My God.
Football wide receiver got to cradle those. Abraham Almonte is grounded into a double play and a walk as he debuts as a Padre. Switch hitter.
Well, that's paint right there. Jaime does not get the call. 95. Oh, look at it. The M. It's an upside down W. Talk about equipment tonight. Well, the equipment manager, he couldn't find an M, and he's got the upside down W for an M. Because the ends aren't straight up and down. They're at an angle. You know how on an M, the sides are straight up and down? His are at an angle. It's an upside down W.
Maybe.
Oh, that's an upside down W.
Well, any M upside down's a W. And you know what? Any W upside down's an M.
That's right. See, Simmons upside. See, the sides are straight like that.
Okay, you're right. Yeah,
they're not like that, but you know what I'm saying. See, I've got an issue with Bill Akery, the equipment manager with the Braves.
There's a fly ball. It's going to drop into right center field for a base hit. Oh, look at him take off. He's going to try to get 2. Oh my! Almonte showing the speed. Just a little flare into right center. And he hit the bag at first and put it in high gear.
You gotta love that. That's infectious. Other guys on the team see that. They love that. Mark Loretta, as a teammate, you gotta love seeing this, huh?
Absolutely. And what a way to make a first impression. I love Buddy. When Buddy gets these new guys, he puts them right in the lineup right away. I think that's tremendous for their confidence. And if they can do something like that, that's huge.
That's a great way to get your first base hit with a new club. A single that becomes a double with your hustle. Stoltz trying to move him over to third. He tried to sacrifice the last time up. And the out was made at second base. Squares early. And takes strike 2.
Yeah, you know, guys, always tough to lose a quality pro like Kristen Orfia, who's a great Padre, but given his contract situation, etc., it was the right time to move him. And the reports we got out of Almonte is just what a good athlete he is, and you saw it right there.
That's really encouraging, that kind of speed. Ball in the dirt, and throw back to try to get Almonte. And he had to scramble because he had taken a couple of steps toward third when he saw that ball loose.
You know, I think that ball may have hit the umpire or Laird in the foot, and it did not allow that ball to go back to the screen. It took a funny hop. Let's take a look. This ball is spiked. Hits the knee. Oh, and then hits Stoltz in the front foot. Came back. It hit Laird, and then off of Stoltz's front foot.
If that goes out into the field of play, of course, the first baseman, Freeman, is right in on the plate. 1-2 the count. And strike 3.
Hey, remember the ball stuck in the glove, El Duque? Well, back in 1986, left-handed pitcher Terry Mulholland at Shea Stadium. Keith Hernandez.
Right back to the mound.
It got stuck, and all of a sudden he just underhands to Bob Brentley, playing first base. Ed Montague kind of looks at it and says, yeah, well. Good reaction by Terry. And I talked to Bob Brentley about that, and he said if he was smart, he wouldn't have skipped a beat. He would just throw the glove around the infield, around the horn.
No, that'd have been
just
great.
throw it around.
Cabrera, 2 for 3 tonight. 2 runs scored. Batting left-handed for the first time, and he chops that one toward right field. It's through. Almonte going to try to score. Big arm out there. He's in there. Back to first. That gets away a short distance from Freeman, and safe is Cabrera. Goodness, he can fly. I mean, you've got a man with a big arm out there in right field, Bonifacio, and that ball was fairly shallow. And Almonte didn't hesitate, and he made that 90 feet from third to home in the snap of a finger.
And you know what? It's going to make decision-making for Glenn Hoffman at third base a little bit easier when you have speed like that on second base. Dick, you make a good point. Look at how shallow Bonifacio is. He's already around the bag when the ball gets to Bonifacio, and it makes it look easy. I'll tell you, that is some kind of nice, Mark Loretta, to have that kind of speed.
It really is. You know, we've talked about that for a long time, particularly in Petco Park. To get athletic guys who can run the bases, run the ball down in the outfield, that's a big advantage here.
Now the Padres get a big insurance run. It's now 6-1. Cabrera having himself quite a night. There he goes, and it's fouled at the plate by Solarte. 3 for 4, 3 singles. 2 runs scored and an RBI for Cabrera. And Tommy Medica with 3 hits, 2 two-run homers and a single. Leading the attack for the Padres. 6 runs and 11 hits.
And Mark, the Padres not skipping a beat, showing more aggressiveness on the next pitch for Cabrera, trying to steal that base.
I like that, especially when they, Laird's throwing the ball around a little bit in the last couple of plays. Why not take advantage? Press the issue.
Yes.
Solarte lined to center, sacrificed, and singled. Lined to single to left field the last time up.
I think Jaime's ticked off about that upside-down W. He wants a real M.
Well, Spencer Dallin, that never happened in our clubhouse. They'd never go upside down. The M and W.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Our guys are too good down there.
Let's call them highway.
Very good, Lo. It's the big leagues. Come on.
It's pretty industrious. Maybe he didn't have, an M, and so rather than it be J-A-I space E.
The Atlanta Braves they don't have an M in their clubhouse.
Well, they're on the road.
In the sewing room.
Foul back.
Hey, remember who's the catcher for the Mets? Darno? Travis Darno? Remember the small D? They didn't have a small D, so they turned a P upside down. And they put the apostrophe after the upside down P, and then Arno.
And how about Tula Zitsky or whatever it was?
Tula Whiskey? They omitted the T on the T-shirts.
It's a tough week.
Hey, that's baseball.
2 strikes on Solarte. Off speed.
Oh, yeah, here's Spencer working his magic. Look at he's got the brother.
Piecing back together. They just fit him really well.
He is a very handy chap.
Going for him as there's like gamer pants.
They don't call him Betsy Ross for nothing. You're sewing up somebody's britches right there. Hey, Mark Loretta, that's another good point. Pants that you wear during the course of the year, you get accustomed to wearing those certain pants. That's why you see guys getting them all patched up all the time, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there's just a certain pair that feels good to you, and when you rip it, which happens quite often, you get those patches going. At the end of the year, they're pretty ragged. But I want to know, how does a guy like Spencer Dallin stay single when he can do that much? So he can cook, he can clean, he can fix your luggage.
Hey, you should see him vacuum.
It's unbelievable. He's a woman's dream.
Oh. He's a good catch right there. Somebody's missing the boat.
1-2 to Solarte.
Hey, Jaime, no breaking ball. He's got the firm fastball, 97. Not a lot of command with that breaking ball. So Mark Loretta pretty much eliminate that pitch, you would think, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, just get on the heater. Get on the highway.
Almonte, a leg double and a single by Cabrera to get the Padres a 6th run here in the 6th. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. 97 on that fastball. 2 strikeouts for Minor, or actually for Jaime. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo for you. You can tweet your photo. Hashtag SD fan photo. A chance to be shown in an upcoming telecast. Brought to you by AT&T.
Thank you, Rodney.
Looks like Dusty Baker.
That Uncle Rot taking part.
Jet Jerko, the hitter. Fly to right, doubled in a run and scored, and lined to second the last time. Good compact stroke at that 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Last 3 pitches from Highway have been 97.
Highway Jaime. Spence down there is going to have to get to the laundry room for Cabrera after the game.
Yeah.
That's the other part that I'm always amazed. Look at that uniform. Look at it. And tomorrow it will the same uniform be sparkling white, not a spot on it. And yet it doesn't fade the Padres and the blue. How do they do that?
They shout it out. Hey, get out of there! They yell at the stains.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Is that kind of the Procter & Gamble approach? I mean,
get out of there!
Tide.
Get out of those pants! They shout it out.
One and one, Jerko. There goes the runner. A curveball. The throw is going to be high, and Cabrera's in there with a stolen base. Number 14.
You know what the amazing thing is? It's always in the back of the mind of Jaime and Laird, the Braves, because he went earlier, right? He picks a good pitch to go on. That was a breaking ball. Not the 97-mile-an-hour fastball, right? So a breaking ball takes a little bit, and look at how close that was, Dick. See how close it was? On a fastball, it might be a different story. But because of the slow breaking ball, it enables Cabrera to just get into second base on time.
He's got the dirt layered now.
Yes, he does.
This is the second layer.
Yep.
Jerko, a chance to pick up another run. 2-1 the count. Looked like a pretty good pitch, but with Laird jumping up to make his throw, he didn't get the call. Blew that fastball by him.
Wow, 98. Mark, did you like hitting off of straight fastballs, 96, 98?
Yes. It was, as long as they were straight, though.
That's
a
the
big
point.
difference,
Yeah,
right.
because Jaime's fastball is very straight.
Yeah, right here, the guy in second base now just got a choke and poke right here.
Yeah. Ooh, close there. Another at 98.
Well, now it's time to check the Cholula flamethrower. Too hot. Too hot for the hot tub. 98 from Jaime. That's caliente.
Full count, Jerko. High and foul. The sail down into the middle deck, now into the lower deck.
Hey, and Mark Loretta, is it a key for a hitter when you have a pitcher like this? You can't speed up your swing. You got it nice and easy to the baseball, right?
Yeah, I think you just got to start a little bit earlier, Mark. You can't speed up your swing, but you can start your stride and your load just that split second earlier.
Gotcha. Southland Technology Foxtrack says that Jaime is up in the zone a lot.
Right to left center field, and that ball is caught. B.J. Upton with a double robbing, maybe a triple, that was headed for center field, and he just outran that line drive. Jerko hitting the ball hard again. He's been robbed twice tonight. A line drive to second, and now a line out to center fielder B.J. Upton. With a man aboard, Cabrera homers into the lower deck. Number 5 on the season. Next time up, this one is crushed deep into. Well, first of all, Jerko gets a double, and that knocks in a run. Cabrera. Then Medica comes up again. A 2-run shot way up into the second deck, and the Padres had a 5-0 lead. Braves would get an unearned run off Stultz in the 4th, and error in right field. DJ Upton would score on a 2-out single by Chris Johnson. The Padres get back another run in the 6th inning on Almonte's leg double and an RBI single from Cabrera. Our Harris game summary.
Boy, a lot of positives for this Padre team up into this point of the ball game, huh?
And for Eric Stultz, he looks up at that scoreboard and sees 6 runs.
He needs it. He deserves that.
Finally.
Yeah, he deserves some breathing room, some wiggle room to make a mistake. Like that one inning where the error, Jeff Francoeur in the 4th inning. Okay, it was a run, but they had a 5-0 lead at the time.
I mean, he's been the least supported pitcher in all of Major League Baseball if you pitch 100 innings. 31 runs, 21 starts. And he gets a big 6 on the board tonight.
And there you see the line score. Chris Johnson 2 for 3. Everybody else wearing the collar.
Simmons, Bonifacio in the pitcher's spot here in the top of the 7th. That one sails high into the 3rd tier. Simmons is grounded to short and grounded to first. Good play made by Medica the last time. One ball, 2 strikes. Back to the mound. Stultz right there says, "Come to Papa." 1 out as we go down to Chris Button.
Well, you know, Rene Rivera likes to use the hockey mask. He didn't always use it. Told me that a couple years ago he got hit right between the eyes on a swing with a bat, and he said after that, he said, "I didn't care about the weight or the visibility. I just wanted the protection." He actually says he sees better using the hockey mask.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. And you know what? I've talked to some catchers, and they say that, you know, the hockey style mask that Rene wears is heavier, but the weight distribution is that to where it feels very comfortable. It's not like top heavy or back heavy. it's evenly distributed around your head. So even though it weighs more, you see more and more catchers going to that.
100 pitches now, 101 for Stoltz.
This is last week in Chicago, right in the grill.
They have to be monitored because the concussive effect of those foul balls can be very damaging. And well, we just saw manager Mike Matheny of the St. Louis Cardinals. His career is shortened by the fact that he too many foul balls, concussions. 2-1, and now 3-1 to Bonifacio. Phil Gosselin just called up from AAA when we were in Atlanta. He's on deck. Lays in a strike, 3-2. Ball 4, and that's unusual for Stoltz, the 4th walk.
We talk about the hockey style mask. Well, thank Charlie O'Brien back in 1996 with the Toronto Blue Jays. You would think the hockey style mask, right, with the goalies wear. Well, Charlie sported the mask, and it became popular. Alex Torres, we talk about the hat, right? At first, people look at it and say, wow, that really looks weird. The same thing was said about Charlie O'Brien.
That's right.
And what do you know? It's other catchers are following suit.
Nick Vincent and Alex Torres getting ready in the bullpen. Eric Stoltz now over the 100 pitch mark, 105. This is his 22nd start. He's gone 7 innings 2 other times. And trying to go 7 tonight.
Hey, this is another situation with the lead 6-1. If it's a close ball game, Bud Black might go to the bullpen and have a fresh arm come out because he's got the lead. Hey, have him work out of it, right? You've got the 5-run lead. Try to work for a ground ball possibly to get out of this inning with a double play.
Gosselin, just 10 at bats so far, a couple of hits. 2 strikes to count. Tried to pick on that outside edge, couldn't quite get the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They're very high on this young man. Feel he'll be part of the Braves' future. Was leading the International League in hits when they called him up.
And if I recall, Dick, remember in Atlanta we saw him get down the line. He could run a little bit too, right?
Yes, he can. 96 games at Gwinnett, their AAA team, hit .344.
Wow.
1 out. Bonifacio with a walk at first base. And another foul. Two and two. This may be the last man for Stoltz. 111 pitches. Could be 2. Nope. Will they get 1? Yes. Nope. Safe at second. The flip by Jerko pulled Cabrera off the bag, so that was a double play ball made to order, and it winds up being an error on Jerko. So a walk and an error, and that'll bring Bud Black to the mound, and a pitching change probably ensuing. Well, we'll first see if Black is going to challenge. Here's the flip. Is Cabrera's foot on the bag? No. Well, at least from that angle, it doesn't appear to be. Let's see from this angle. Jerko, great reaction to you.
Yeah.
It
didn't look like it, did it?
No. And so Black will do a little U-turn to the mound, and Eric Stoltz. And he only allows 2 hits tonight, a walk and an error here, in trouble in the 7th. A hand for Stoltz. Well done. Well, Eric Stoltz, 6 1/3, and only a muff by Jerko at second. That would have been a double play in full 7 innings. Only 2 hits.
Yeah, Eric Stoltz really had the tempo working. Got into a good groove. Made him put the ball in play. He did have 4 walks, but it didn't come back to haunt him. And when you have the wiggle room like the offense has given him tonight, you can be aggressive and go right after him, pinpoint control the fastball. He threw the changeup early also. And a nice night for Eric Stoltz.
So 6 1/3 for him. The 1 run unearned. The Braves with runners at first and second. Nick Vincent trying to get out of this jam with a 6-1 Padre lead on the board. 35th appearance for Nick. 194 right-handed hitters, 293 lefties. And he faces B.J. Upton, the right-handed hitting leadoff man. And a soft fly ball popped up behind first. And Medica squeezes the second out. 1 pitch, 1 out from Vincent.
Boy, not an aggressive swing at all from B.J. Upton. Kind of a way. It looked like a cut fastball from Nick Vincent. It's good to see he's back in the saddle and fresh as ever. Off the end of the bat for the easy fly ball in the infield.
Tommy La Stella then walks to the plate. He's been up 3 times and grounded out all 3 times. After La Stella, Freddie Freeman. Stella, college at St. John's. I'm sure he saw a lot of Yankee games, and he's much like Derek Jeter. When he's taking a pitch, he almost bows down, almost puts his chin on home plate following it into the plate. Pops him out. Might be a play. Now that's going to sail back at the third base dugout.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
What are you trying to do? Speed read?
Yeah, I'll give myself a C-. I'll be honest with you. I got to be true to myself, true to my heart. That wasn't my best read. I'll give myself a C-.
Well, yeah, it's like that. Well, you're working on that speed talking. You know, you can get.
Eric Stoltz got me in the groove. He got.
Yeah, he was good tonight, wasn't he? Get the ball and throw it,
and it rubbed off.
2-1 now to the second baseman of the Braves.
Talking about the Evelyn Wood speed reading. Remember that back in the day?
Yeah.
Remember seeing those commercials
back
right. Back in the 70s?
See, it circulates itself. It goes through the whole system, the human body, and it comes out speed talk.
Double barrel working. Right-hander Quackenbush on the left. Left-hander Torres on the right.
Willie Blair, the bullpen coach, behind him with a clipboard and all the notes on how they should work hitters when they do come into the game, if they do. Ooh, almost walked into that one. So 3-1. You don't want to load them up for Freddie Freeman. Bonifacio at second with a walk, and Gosselin at first, safe on the air by Jerko. The inning should be over. Center field. And Almonte makes the catch. And the inning is over. No damage done by the walk in the air. Tommy Medica 3 for 3 with 2 home runs coming up. Presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Petco, the power of together, and by your San Diego Lexus dealer. And Eric Stoltz, his final line, 6 in the third innings, 1 run unearned, 2 hits, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Stands to win that elusive 4th victory tonight. Well done by the veteran left-hander. Tommy Medica certainly gave him full support, a pair of 2-run homers plus a single. And then Rivera and Nelson against the new pitcher David Hale. Hale 3-3, actually started 5 games, 25 times in relief. Shift is on, and that big hole on the right side not quite as big because Freeman isn't holding on a runner.
Just enough time for him to go over first base if there's a ground ball hit on that left side.
He's got 2 home runs, and on this very date, August 1st in 1972, a Padre hit 5 home runs in a doubleheader. 3 in one game, 2 in the other. Nate Colbert, and it was against the Braves. Two and 1. Padres that have hit 3 in a game. There's Colbert. 3 in one game of the doubleheader, 2 in another. Finley did it twice. Caminiti, Boone, and Nevin.
Oh, that's a great day at the plate, isn't it?
Trying for the third. Changeup. Colbert, that tied a major league record at the time, 5 home runs in a doubleheader. And his 13 RBIs set a major league record. And there was more to the story. As a kid in St. Louis, 8 years old, he was at a game and Stan Musial hit 5 home runs in a doubleheader. Chopped toward the left side. That's a tough play for the shortstop, and Medica's beating it out. Yes, he can run for a big fella. 4 for 4. Medica playing deep, and even with Simmons, an outstanding shortstop, and his great work, we've admired that. He makes it as well as any shortstop can, but Medica just outlegs the throw.
And Tommy getting the slider down and away, picking him up, putting him down. Just beats it out. Did you see Simmons before that pitch was thrown? He was like standing flat-footed, not even in ready position at shortstop.
Rivera, soft liner to second, walked, and a hit taken away by Chris Johnson at third base the last time, and he drills that one over Simmons' head, and he joins the hit parade. Padres racking up 13 base hits tonight.
Oh, you gotta love it.
So everyone in the lineup with a base hit except pitcher Eric Stoltz.
Well, I mentioned this in our game open, talking about the offense of the Padres, hitting mistakes. And the numbers after the All-Star break are just great for this team offensively, and that's why, because pitches like that to Rene Rivera, they're crushing.
Cabrera with 3 hits, Solardi with 1, Jerko with 1, Medica with 4, Rivera, Nelson, Francoeur, and Almonte all with a base hit as well. Nelson singled the first time up. Struck out the last time. 1 for 3. Three for 10, the Padres. Runners in scoring position tonight. They've had a man in scoring position 6 consecutive innings. Simmons starting in behind the runner Medica, but he didn't have that big a lead, so pitcher Hale backed off the rubber, letting him get back. Simmons back into defensive position. In under the hands of Nelson.
Wow, what a difference, huh? On the season, Padres hitting .213 with runners in scoring position. Tonight, 3 for 10, and according to my math, that's 300.
I'm not going to argue with you anymore. You're an absolute whiz.
Just ask me what 8 times 12 is.
Line drive, base hit to right field. The runners have to hold because of the line drive, so they move up 90 feet, and their bases are loaded as they greet Hale with 3 consecutive singles. Medica, Rivera, and Nelson, a Padre over every pillow.
Well, now the Padres need that extra base hit or that big home run to pad that 6-1 lead. Oh, Chris Nelson doing a nice job going to the opposite field, not over swinging, and once again the offense very contagious.
He's a good low ball hitter, isn't he?
Certainly is.
Tommy Medica now at third base. The 4 hits is a career high for him. Ties a career high. Second time he's accomplished it. Just a week ago in Atlanta, remember, he had 4 hits. Something about that Braves uniform. Will Venable batting for Francoeur, who was a 1 for 3 tonight.
Will Venable swings a Birch Shillelagh.
And he swung it well the last 2 games. He has homered in each of the last 2 games against the Cardinals one grand slam in his career. Lines out to left field for a base hit. And they're going to play station to station. The run scores Medica 7-1. 4 straight singles here off Hale in the 7th inning.
Sounds like the dating game. 4 singles. Bachelor number 1. What do you like? Oh, I like 2-seamers down and away. I just punch it the other way, drive it a run. Bachelor number 2. What do you like? I like moving up to third base.
And the pitcher on the mound says, oh, what the hell.
Hey, nice piece of hitting going on this inning. Nelson going the opposite way. Will Venable going the opposite way.
15 hit attack tonight for the Padres. Almonte showed us something special this last time up. Sent a single into right center and legged it into a double, and then scored on a single to right field. And Bonifacio was shallow. He had the ball just as Almonte took the turn, and Almonte wasn't even close at the plate.
Yep.
Whoa. 2-0. Well, the Padres are a hit away from equaling their season high. They twice have racked up 16 hits, and did that just earlier in the homestand against St. Louis. No one out. Base is still full. That'll get a run in. There is one there. Back to first, and he didn't beat it out. So no RBI as another run scores to make it 8-1. And he almost outlegged the relay.
Well, we mentioned it earlier. He can get down there. Boy, what a nice transfer right there by La Stella. It had a little hump in it. But he realized off the bat, okay, I got to go. Look at him pumping. Head down, not even, I love that. I love that. Not even looking at the play. Looking at the play is not going to do him any good. Way to hustle there, Abraham.
Yonder Alonso batting for Nick Vincent. And he grounds one into the right field corner. Another run scores. Nelson checks in. Alonso to second base. And the Padres have exploded here in the 7th inning for 3 more runs. And now lead it 9-1.
Really hard holding back the smiles in that Padre dugout. And Yonder Alonso gets a 2-seamer down and in. That never gets old.
So all 9 spots in the batting order with a base hit in tonight's 9-run 16-hit attack. Cabrera has done his share, 3 for 4. Scored a couple of runs, stole his 14th base, and he's driven in a run. Man, a couple of pinch hitters delivering here. Venable with an RBI single and Alonso an RBI double.
Alonso loosening up those hamstrings in the event of a base hit. Hopefully get sent by Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, and go into the double digits in the R column.
2-0. Oh, that's off Hale, and Karams to second, and the throw, no throw. Cabrera's got his 4th hit of the night. Right off the leg of pitcher Hale. There was Cabrera matching Medica's 4 hits.
Hockey suit coming right at you.
Alonso goes to third. Well, look at their Hale.
Wow.
Look at Hale there. Look what happened. The H is upside down. That H is upside. You know, you got me looking now. See?
Freddie Gonzalez out there with Jeff Porter, the trainer for the Atlanta Braves.
And he's going to take a couple of practice pitches. Man,
Line drive off the right, like ankle area, looked like. Oh well, you know what? I can see now he's telling him. You know what? And Freddie lit him up, and I can see why, but also I can see the frustration from Hale. You just got smoked with a line drive. You know, the blood's pumping, the adrenaline's pumping, and maybe he's let his emotions get a little bit too much of him. But Freddie lit him up.
Well, 6 hits.
I can see both ends of that equation there.
I mean, he hit, other than the double play ball, and Almonte's double play ball was hit hard.
Tell you what, another base hit, score run. They're going to light off some fireworks or something. Going to look like a Kiss concert here. Oh my goodness.
Solarte, line to center, sacrificed, singled, and struck out. He's the 8th man to bat here against Hale.
Either that, or there are a lot of Colorado Rocky fans in attendance.
Two and 0, now 3-0 to Solarte. What an inning. Medica, the infield hit. Line single Rivera. Line single Nelson. Line single pinch hitter Venable. Then the double play. Then a double into the right field corner Alonso. And then Cabrera comeback single off the leg of the pitcher. And now he walks Solarte. No. On his way to first. And plate umpire Siegel on second thought said, nope, that's in there. 3-1. You saw that statistic at the very start of our telecast. The Padres, that's ball 4. And the Padres send their 9th man to bat here against Hale in the 7th. The Padres are number 1 since the All-Star break in runs scored. And now with the effort tonight, number 1 in hitting with runners in scoring position. And Hale's going to have to give the ball to the manager. They're not at all happy with this effort tonight. Pitching change at Petco. In the game, and the bat, of course, a very important part, and sometimes it gets the blame for failure, and sometimes the bat wins. Carlos Gomez unable to destroy the piece of lumber. That's funny. New pitcher is David Carpenter. Enters the game with runners at every pillow for the Padres. Bases loaded. They've already scored 3 times here in the 7th inning to boost their lead to 9-1. 17 hits. That's a season high for San Diego. Jed Jerko. Breaking ball for a strike. Jerko, RBI double back in the 3rd. Then he's lined out to second and lined out to center. B.J. Upton taking an extra base hit away from him with a diving catch in the last inning. Another strike. 0-2.
Yeah, Carpenter can get it up there now. 97, 98 on the fastball. Pretty much a two-pitch pitcher.
Alonso with a pinch double at third. Cabrera with his 4th hit of the night, all singles at second, and Solarte with a walk at first. And he got him. Strike 3. So 9 men come to bat. 3 of them score. 6 hits and 3 are left. And after 7, the Padres lead 9-1.
Over Atlanta here, top of the 8th inning. We're in the suites at the Western Metal Building, having a great time, working on Padres Live, kinda. The post-game show will be brought to you by Cox Communications. Mark Loretta, Mike Pomeranz with you. Everybody in the ballpark having a great time. When you get offense like this, it's exciting, and Tommy Medica leading the charge.
Unbelievable. Tommy Medica with a career night, 2 home runs. Jed Jerko coming through. Everybody just hitting. It's just great atmosphere out here when people hit.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of those. And Tommy Medica, the first one was a no-doubter, but the second one was ridiculous.
I've seen a few balls in the second deck, Mike, but I don't see too many that have gone in the second tier of the second deck. That was an absolute bomb.
I think Dick and Mark were pointing out the value of all this equipment in the bat. Foremost among them, and the Padres are swinging it well again this evening. We're seeing a post-game show. We'll have a little bit more on equipment. We'll also hear from Buddy Black, and we'll show you some of the highlights from around Major League Baseball. Dick and Mark?
And lots to muster about here in the post-game show. Stay with us. A 17-hit attack, high for the year for the Padres, as Quackenbush comes in to work the 8th inning against Freeman, Upton, and Johnson. Only 2 hits for Atlanta, both by third baseman Chris Johnson, and the only run scored unearned.
And it's so nice for the relievers to come into the ball game late and have the 8-run lead. 173, 170. Those are the splits for Kevin Quackenbush.
Shift is on for Freeman, who has grounded out twice and struck out. Venable stays in the game in right field for Francoeur after hitting for Francoeur and knocking in a run with a single. Two balls, 2 strikes to Freeman. This is inside.
I can get used to this type of offense, Professor.
Goodness, this is sweet. Full count. And a ground ball to the lone man on the left side. Cabrera, long throw. He skips it, and it's there in time. Whether intentional or not, a perfect one-hop throw over to Medica.
You know what, Dick? I wouldn't put it past Everett. I think this was intentional. Because if that ball stays in the air a little bit longer, it gets a little bit of a hump on it, maybe Freeman beats it out. Who knows? But just getting to that baseball, one hopper it looked like, to Tommy Medica. What a nice play by Everett.
All his momentum is kind of going away from first, so he throws a little low line drive, one hopper for the out. Justin Upton has fly deep to right, walked and struck out.
What the Davey Concepcion is going on out there. Remember, he used to do that on the turf in Cincinnati. He'd go into the hole and throw one hopper on purpose.
Yeah, he did that time and time again, didn't he?
He perfected that. Remember, he was one of the first shortstops to start doing that, from my recollection.
But what an infield for the Red Machine, huh? Perez at first,
Morgan,
Joe Morgan at second, Concepcion at short. Least known of the four was the third baseman, trying to come up with more glasses.
You know what? Pete Rose played some third base back then, right?
Some in the outfield, yeah.
Yeah, he played like, gosh, some ridiculous record as far as over 500 games at right field, left field, third base, first base, just all over the diamond for Pete Rose.
Ripped into left field. That's the third hit of the night for the Atlanta Braves. Upton's first.
While we have a minute, we're going to take a look at the keys to the game, revisit them. Brought to you by the Honda dealers of San Diego County. To serve with glove. Well, see, here's the deal, folks. 2 miscues by the Padres. Okay, I was not on that one. That's a D. Oh, that's a F. I'm going to say F.
Well, no, it balances out with a good.
I was getting to that point, though.
Okay.
Right? And holy home run Batman. Tommy Medica, 2 home runs, driven in 4, so it balances it out. Right, like you just said.
No, but the good defensive plays balance out the errors.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
okay. All right, I got you.
The hitter is Johnson. He's grounded to third, singled in the run. Back in the 4th inning, a single to right field, a ground single. And he doubled into the left field corner the last time. 1 out single by Upton against Quackenbush here in the 8th. That one's lined down the right field line, foul. Venable kindly tosses the ball to a fan in the corner.
Chalk up another baseball, right? Used in the game.
Yep.
Talked about that earlier.
Average 98 a game. 33,779. Nice Friday night gathering here to see the Padres explode for 9 runs, 17 hits. No one holding on Upton, so defensive indifference, and he's on second base. 1-2 to Johnson. Game 2 tomorrow night, 5 o'clock for our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego. Part of a baseball doubleheader on Fox. Ian Kennedy on the mound for the Padres, 8 and 9, after missing 1 turn with that oblique minor strain. And then Irvin Santana, he was as good as any pitcher we've seen all year down in Atlanta, beating the Padres. 10 and 6 for Santana. Hope you'll join us. Baseball night in San Diego Saturday night. And if you better get here early, because Mark Grant's going to try to grab some of those floppy hats.
It's a hot item.
And time now for our San Diego fans of the game. And that's Chris Budden's family.
Yeah.
Mom Mary, Dad Lyle, Mario, new husband. Our San Diego fans of the game.
Oh, Dad Chris, we're so proud of her.
It was good to have them here.
I'll bet it was, Chris. Good for you. Where'd they come in from?
From Dallas.
Oh.
And I took him to BP batting practice earlier, and my dad was down there, and he was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then Buddy was nice, came up, introduced himself, and made my parents' day.
That's great. Going to stay for the whole weekend?
They are through Sunday. Then they're going to drive up the coast and take a couple days, go to Napa, spend some time up there.
Hey, that ties in with tonight, the wine night, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Mom enjoyed it thoroughly.
My kind of gal. Full count to Johnson. Yeah, it was well attended, the wine fest. 15 different California wines poured out there in the park at the park.
Thanks, guys.
Upton at second, 1 out here in the 8th, 3-2 coming up. Outside, and another walk by Padre pitching. Stoltz guilty of 4 walks, certainly not in character for the left-hander, but none of those walks came around to score. So 2 on for Gerald Laird. He's flied out twice and grounded to short, the catcher. Strike 1.
You know, back in the day, Dick, remember when you got your glove and you had to take a magic marker to put your name on it, right?
Right.
Well, you make it to the big leagues and you have that Wilson contract. Look
Oh,
at you get Quack embroidered. You get your nickname, your full name. You get. I know some players who have their kids' names embroidered.
Ground ball to third, could be 2. 1 there, back to first, around the horn, double play. 5-4-3. Nelson. Jerko. Medica, a double play. And you see applauding loudest, of course, was Yasmani Grandal, in that Medica was using his bat tonight, and it produced 2 two-run homers and 2 singles and a perfect 4-for-4 night, and maybe more. He's going to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning.
Hey, Elvis is in the house. On the peanut butter jelly sandwich. Father's got some runs.
Blue suede shoes,
Yeah,
right?
there you go. Yeah.
All right, Tommy, have yourself a big night. 4-for-4. You got a 5th hit in you? And that fastball at 97.
He wants that one back. Did you see his reaction after that pitch was caught? turning away like, oh my goodness gracious, how do I not attack that pitch?
Right there.
Middle in, yep.
Chop to the right side. He's 5 for 5. Beats the shift. Oh my. A career game for Tommy Medica. Santa Clara Bronco riding high tonight.
Well, there are the 3 infielders, as Dick mentioned, and Medica fights off a fastball in. It's a high. Wait, there's. That's a big league knock.
Yeah, you're going to give me all that room to hit. Why not go in there?
You know what I love about this game, keeping score? You know, I put little notches next to guys' name.
I do the same.
Look at Tommy Medica. It's got the old 4 slashes with a 1 across for 5.
2 homers, 2 2-run homers, and 3 consecutive singles for 5 for 5. Hits in a 9-inning game, and it had to be a big scoring game to get 6 hits. But Adrian Gonzalez did that. That's the Padre record back in 2009.
That's great.
So Medica aboard with his 5th hit. Rene Rivera has a single, a walk, robbed of a hit by Johnson. 18 hits, 9 runs. 1 and 2 now to Rivera.
Okay, well, Mike Pomerantz is getting a little cocky right about now because he chose Tommy Medica tonight for pick the six. Oh yeah, I just got a text from him.
It's a record.
Who has Medica tonight?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because he asked. He's got it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know the baseball gods, the pick the stick gods will come back and get you, Pomerantz.
No, but that may be a record in pick the stick. As Rivera goes down swinging, 1 away. Let's see. I'm going to figure it out. 7 for the 2-run homer. Another 7 for that's 14. Single 15. Single 16. Run scored 17.
Stolen base.
17. Right. Oh, that's right. 18 and another single.
19.
Hubba. He might retire. Maybe he won't even come to the ballpark. He doesn't have to pick for another week.
19-point night for Tommy Medica.
He's buying. It's like a hole in the one, right?
Exactly. Good call.
That'll be another record. He's going to break all kinds of records.
And speaking of 19, the one, the only, Tony Gwynn.
Gone but never forgotten. Chris Nelson has a couple of hits. Went around. The last 5-hit game was 2 years ago. Alexi Amarista, remember, up at Coors Field, had a 5-hit game. Ground ball, another hit as Nelson just drops his bat on the ball and whistles one between first and second. He has a 3-hit night. Goodness. Padres have hit the 19-hit mark.
Chris Nelson tonight has gone the opposite way. Carpenter goes down and away, and look at all upper half, just throwing the bat out there, finding the hole with the 18 hopper through the right side. Nothing wrong with that.
They're still a good distance away from the most hits in a 9-inning game. Of course, they'll only get 8 at bats tonight. They had 24 hits against the Giants back in 1982. That's the all-time Padre record. Fly ball looped into left center field. That could drop. It does. And the bases are loaded again. Venables 2 for 2 off the bench. 20 hits. That'll bring up Almonte.
You know, I got to be honest with you, Dick. There's been many times when this has happened against the Padres. And I'm not ashamed or afraid to say, I'm glad we're seeing this tonight. With the offensive output since the All-Star break, this team deserves it. They've been busting their tails. And I like it.
Boy, Cabrera, 4 hits. Medica, 5 hits. Nelson, 3. And Venable off the bench, 2 for 2. And Abraham Almonte in his first game in a Padre uniform, looking around at his teammates and saying, goodness, well, this is some ball club. And he raised a lot of eyebrows and cheers with his hustle double back in the 6th inning. And then he scored on a ground ball single in shallow right field. He has knocked into a couple of double plays. Bases loaded. And 1 out. High chopper right side. That'll get another run home. And it is now 10-1. As Medica scores. As if he doesn't have enough points. Huh? Pomeranz gets another point on the run scored. Almonte, a run scored and an RBI in his first game of the Padres. Look at those crooked numbers. 10 runs, 20 hits for San Diego. Alexi Amarista is going to bat for Quackenbush. Runners at 2nd and 3rd.
And on this equipment night, once again, a job well done. A+ by Jason Lewis, our producer tonight, putting that together. The equipment for the Padres tonight working quite nicely.
Amarista trying to join the hit parade. Two in the first on Medica's first home run. 3 in the third. 2 of those on a Medica 2-run blast. Quiet for a while, then a run in the 6th. 3 in the 7th. And another here in the 8th. Last time the Padres collected as many as 20 hits came in Colorado at Coors Field, and they lost 11-10.
Well, there's tomorrow's starting pitcher, Irvin Santana.
Watch out for him.
He's got to watch out for the Padres' bats. He's got to face the Gritty Gutties tomorrow. The Gritty Gutty Friars.
It's a tough scouting report for him. There's Ian Kennedy say, save some of those runs for me. And it remains 1-2. Every spot in the lineup enjoying at least 1 hit tonight. Out of play.
Wow. For the season, Padres hitting .271 with runners in scoring position tonight. 8 for 18. That's like a 440 something clip. Am I close?
8 for 18.
Nice. 4 for 44.
There you
or
go.
444 rather. I was in the ballpark.
Yeah. Strike 3 taken by Amarista. The inning comes to an end, but the Padres get another run on 3 hits. And Tommy Medica celebrating a 5 for 5 nights, scoring 4 runs and knocking in 4. Oh, my. off the mask. Sometimes it stays in the mask. A foul tip wedging into the grill. Jose Lobaton and Josh Bard, former Padre. He didn't want it to be removed. Didn't like the look. That ball's getting closer, isn't it? I hope you've enjoyed the extra work that's gone into having some fun and some insights into the baseball equipment of this game we love. It's certainly gone to good work tonight as Dale Thayer comes in for the 9th inning, trying to get the last 3 outs. Simmons' replacement, Ramiro Pena, batting first. That's in there, 1-1. In case you're wondering what a 5 for 5 can do for a batting average even on August 1st, Medica with 5 hits tonight raises his average from 248 to 273, a 25-point boost.
Very nice. He's going to be taking that bat he's been using tonight, put it under lock and key, huh?
Right. Mike Pomeranz will help him. You know, that Gnome is in trouble. Yeah. I think Gnome, he's got.
We'll never hear the end of it.
No, I know. But that's nice. I mean, he deserves it.
No, he doesn't.
That's right. 3-1.
What was it now? A 20-point night, right?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Because it was at 19, and then Tommy got the.
That's right, 19-1.
Oh, I'm sorry. He got the 19 with the base hit, then the 20 with the run scored.
Yeah. Wow. Everything going right. That is a big night in the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Line drive, base hit, sharply struck by Pena as he greets Thayer. Let's go down to Chris.
Well, a lot of runs, a lot of offense. That also means a long game, which means a long game behind the plate for Rene Rivera. 3+ hours so far, which is why he uses the knee savers, or those pads that are on the back of the calf that help when you had to squat behind the plate for 3+ hours. Yasmani Grandal also uses them, but he said this was the first year. He doesn't actually like them at all. He said it makes him feel clumsy, but he got talked into wearing them this year because of the injury to his knee and the ACL surgery. He says it does help with the pressure. He says, I still feel pretty clumsy with them on, though.
And we talked about the equipment and how you have your favorite pair of pants. You can see the repair on the left back side of Rivera. Some of Spencer Dolan's excellent work with that sewing machine back in the clubhouse.
The patchwork there, nicely done, Spencer.
It's been the Spencer Dolan show, hasn't it? Yeah. We have to sell commercials for
he
him.
deserves it.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough love. Bonifacio in his first game as a Brave has walked twice and struck out.
Oh, Tommy Medica's got the blown out britches right there. Spencer, get that brother sewing machine ready to go.
Make that look good. You're really talented. Ooh, off the front leg of Bonifacio. Well, the 33,779, they enjoyed a little, many of them, a taste of the grape before the game. And then a line score that deserves champagne. 10 runs and 20 hits. All the way to the screen. And into second base goes Pena. That was a wild pitch.
That's pitch with a P, right?
Of course. Yeah, I think he just trimmed up parts of his beard a little.
That's a sweet hat. Did he trim it up a little bit?
Just trimmed it a little bit. You know, just cleaned it up and not cut any of the drooping sides.
Right. I really like that floppy hat that kid was wearing. The old brown one with the yellow. Yeah. I like that.
Ties in with a giveaway tomorrow night. Another ball in the dirt.
Well, Dale Thayer not finding that release point, inconsistent with both his pitches, the fastball and the breaking ball, early on here in the ninth.
Trying to mop up here. 10-1 Padres. Full count to Bonifacio. And he sweeps that right at Medica. Torn pants and all, he beats Bonifacio to the bag. One away. Over to third goes Pena.
Well, stay tuned after this one, folks, because Padres Live, the postgame show, is coming up. It's going to be Mike Pomerantz. I'm sure he's going to be talking about his night, pick the stick, whatever.
I think he'll lead with that. I think heck with the 10 runs and 20 hits.
Yeah.
It's the Pomerantz show.
Yeah, and then Mark Loretta's going to join in, going to talk about this one. The equipment show is going to continue. Once again, a great job put together the show. Jason Lewis, a fine job talking about that, and all around Major League Baseball. What's going on? Stay tuned. Padres Live coming up right after this one.
B.J. Upton, leadoff man, 0 for 3 with a walk, scored a run. Oh no, this is Domit. I'm sorry, Ryan Domit. And he sent it way up into the night. That is mile high. And center fielder El Monte comes in to make the catch, and that holds the runner at third. So Domit pinch hitting. Skies one into the night. 2 away. Now B.J. Upton. Grounded to second, safe on the error by Francoeur, and Wright scored the only run unearned for the Braves tonight. They have only 4 hits. Strike one. There's that patented 93-mile-an-hour Thayer fastball.
Yeah.
Speed 1-1. And the Braves took 3 out of 4 from the Padres in Atlanta. San Diego returning the favor, at least in game 1 of this 3-game series. And for the Braves, it'll be a tough start to this road trip. At 3 in LA, they lost 3 tough ones there. 3 here, and then they go to Seattle for 2. 3-1. Slice down the right field line, a long run. Venable.
Don't get hurt.
Just runs out of room and almost put his chin right into the railing.
By the way, Will Venable does not wear a cup.
Okay.
Just thought I'd throw it out there.
Your cup floweth over tonight, doesn't it? You're really
I'm blessed.
You're into the cup thing, aren't you? Line drive to left field. This should do it. Right at Salate, and the Padres have won 10-1 tonight. Tom Medica, 5 for 5 night, a couple of home runs. And the Padres take the first game of this 3-game series as we go to marvelous Mike Pomerantz.
Well, boys, the blind squirrel found a nut tonight in me, but Tommy Medica, just a ridiculous night. We'll recap all of this offense. Boy, 20 hits for the first time since 2012. We'll see you in a moment.